I was waiting for it.
as is appropriate. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dungeon the Mad Mage. This is session 17.
Trying to trick me.
There's no trickery involved. Anyways, I think I had something that was kind of like an announcement, but I don't remember what it was. If I remember it, I'll talk about it later. Anyways, so let's go ahead and kick things off with a recap of session 16. This is actually a little... Is that louder? Is that loud for anyone?
It's pretty loud.
Is it pretty loud? Okay. We go. Yeah, the music.
No, I'm fine with it.
I had to play around with my audio settings a little bit earlier today. Pull this up. There we go. Alright, so previously in Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party left Copper Stormforge's fate in his own hands. Rather than face Halaster, the revenant of his own creation, Copper took his own life. The scenario was bleak, but something in Ash's words stirred a recognition in Haleth. He finally came to understand at least some of what he was, and realizing that the party was trying to assist him, he promised to try to wait for them. For at this point, the party needed to head topside and rest, as well as deal with a few other matters of business. As the party headed back through the carnage that they had left on the first level of the dungeon, they ran into two new faces, Tibble and Groin, goblin bone collectors with an emphasis on skulls. Bones, seeing an opportunity, began to establish friendly relations and asked the two goblins to wait for his return in Yek's Goblin Market so that they could discuss future business opportunities.
Business.
Afterwards, the party... Oop. There go my cats.
Also known as business.
Business.
Afterwards, the party headed topside and stepped into a routine that was beginning to grow familiar. They checked in with Obaya to have things identified. They stopped by the Exchequer in order to exchange money, and then ran a few errands on their way back to the Lifted Spirits. There, Sine appraised the party of a bit of a situation coming from a nearby competitor, one Emic Froon, and sought permission to hire the local private investigator, Vincent Trench, in order to kind of check into the matter and make certain that there was nothing untoward happening, which the party funded and gave permission for. After this, Bones and Matashtai headed to the Guild of Fine Carvers for Bones' appraisal, which was a smashing success. Gavin, Ivy, and Lofric, three members of the Guild's committee, judged Bones to be a passionate and capable artisan. They bestowed upon him the rank of journeyman and performed a small ceremony inducting him into the guild. Back at Trollskull Manor, Ezrah read deep into the evening. His selection was fascinating. A study on time dilation and its effects on divination. It was a work of someone clearly passionate and extremely knowledgeable. One Jazira Kestelharp. The name didn't ring any bells, but the signature on the back cover read Jazira Kestelharp, member of the Seven, apprentice to Halaster Blackcloak. And I do want to, as we kind of like step back into the game at this point, I do want to make clear one thing that I kind of intentionally omitted for the sake of drama, Ezra. That last little bit, right, is very clearly, so the Jazira Kestelharp part, member of the Seven, is written in one signature. The apprentice of Halaster Blackcloak is a different. It's a later addition.
What about the member of the Seven? Does
Roll me a history check. Ooh.
I might know something.
You might know something. And what you know is very basic information, just because of the myths and legends that surround Undermountain, the dungeon of the Mad Mage, and the titular mage itself, Halaster Blackcloak. You don't know a lot of specifics, and you're not sure why necessarily, right? Considering how big a figure he is, and how much mythology and lore surrounds him, and what he has done past, what he has been to the city, right? One would assume that there would probably be more of this information. But what you know from a 24 is that member of the Seven could only refer to one thing. The 7 original apprentices that arrived in Waterdeep with Halaster Blackcloak, that inhabited this land long before the city of Waterdeep was ever a thing.
That's
right?
me.
So these apprentices would be ancient, and while you know enough to know that the 7 were a thing, you find, and this is what I was kind of describing as strange earlier, right? You find your knowledge of them severely lacking. You don't even know their names. You just know the kind of the moniker, the 7, and that there were indeed 7 apprentices to Halaster at that time, right? And that strikes you as very odd, Ezra. Whatever personally you want to take away, right, in this moment, that would strike Ezra as very odd, considering how much you have read, right, and
it
how
seems
much.
Like a safe deduction that this was purposefully omitted and actively omitted.
That
what is
definitely
being
seems like a possibility. Yeah. So that's kind of like where we come back into the scene, right? Is as Ezra is bent over in the study, fully involved. Have to. Okay, all right. You.
I didn't say shit.
Anything. I don't know why he's angry. He's so angry for no reason. No
I
one said
didn't
anything.
say shit.
Maybe I stopped something on Reddit. You don't know.
I got a Laura in my midst. I can't say anything that is half a sexual innuendo.
Look, he was bent over in the study. It's not my fault. I didn't say it.
You're absorbed, right, in reading this book, and then afterwards, right, after you actually finish it and you find this information, you're probably absorbed in just thinking about the information itself for a while, right? I think we had actually talked about this at the end of last session, but Bones and Matashtai, did you guys actually decide to go celebrate afterwards?
Yeah, we're getting lit.
Okay.
Lady.
Cool. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, so you guys go like bar hopping throughout the night and then eventually end up. He said Liddy in the city. I take that as a yes.
Yo,
then.
That's us. We Liddy in the city.
I feel like this is becoming an opportunity for Zach to push his own creative
agenda?
lingo.
Oh.
Yes, your own agenda, whatever the case that is. All right, so that's what Ezra, Bones, and Matashtai are doing. What's Ashes doing as like we head into the evening and into the night? Or are you just like I know you had said you were wanting to spend time on the Black Book, right? Make additions to it and everything like that. But I don't think it would take you that long to go through that. So unless you're just wanting to like really spend in-depth time on it, you have an evening with which to do something, but you don't have to.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that Ashes would want to do in particular.
So Ashes just spends a cushy night. That's fine.
Yeah,
No big deal.
All right.
Okay. Well, that means that that means eventually you all find your beds, right? Eventually you all find sleep, and eventually you all wake up on the morning of Uktar the 20th. And yay! A couple of things are gonna happen. One, you guys do finally level to level 6. So.
The fireworks.
Yay! Right?
I'm so powerful now.
You're so powerful. I believe I will be updating the overlay at the break to show that we are all.
Wow, Jeremy, you didn't have it ready for us?
Well, I have it, but like I don't want to flip it in the middle of the thing, so I'll update it at the break. And then a couple of other things happen, and this is going to be a reoccurring theme as we continue this campaign. Basically, all of the 10s are days where things roll over. Okay, so of import, one thing that rolls over is
Before you do that, did you want us to go through?
Oh, if you guys,
I don't know how
is everyone done with their level up? Because everyone's already added everything. Everyone's you already.
I think I did.
Think it did? Okay, so in that case, yes. I was going to talk while you guys did that, assuming that you guys weren't done with that. But if everyone is done, then yeah, we can go ahead and jump into... if you care to share, let's go around the room and say what you did, what you have received going from 5th to 6th level, right? And mention whether or not you rolled your HP or whether you're a bitch like Jay and you didn't roll.
That's right. Didn't he hit like a crit when he was like
yeah, absolutely he did.
It doesn't matter.
Absolutely he did.
Crits. I roll
100% he did.
Taking the base amount, it doesn't change the fact that my average has been and will always be lower if I roll my HP.
I don't know. 3 ones in a row was pretty exciting for Ezra.
It was. So, let's go around the room.
Average is still low.
I'm going to start in the bottom.
2 crits and 1.
I'm going to start in this corner this time around. So, Mitch, what has Matashtai gotten for leveling from 5th to 6th?
Matt has gained some HPs.
Okay.
He has gained a new ability called Deft Strike, which allows me to spend a key point and add a martial arts die to my damage.
Okay. Cool.
So I can hit a little harder. I also acquired a mastery of a new Kensai weapon.
Ooh. Now you don't have to pick yet if you don't want to. You can leave it in kind of reserve if you'd like. But do you already know what you're taking?
Yeah, I totally know what I want.
Okay. What are you gonna keep that secret, or are you gonna?
No, I'll tell you. Matt's new Kensai weapon.
It's a Gatling gun, guys. It's a Gatling gun. Just let everyone.
50d2 minus 50.
No, it is a katana.
Ooh, okay. So,
Nice.
got a little bit of.
When does your?
You're just gonna end up being a samurai at the end of this, aren't you?
That's your sweet ass I am.
You know there is an archetype for that in a different class.
Nah.
No, that archetype blows.
We're just gonna build a bear at this point. Because you guys
think
know how I
Samurai's pretty
play.
good, actually.
You guys know how I play with like magic items and stuff like this. So by the time you guys hit like 11th or 12th level, you're gonna be kitted out with like absolutely full like attunement slots, and every attunement slot is gonna have a special ability bullshit thing. So he'll be like, "Oh, we should just make you Sekiro. Like we should just like we should just turn you into that."
That feels
You wanna
like
be Wolf?
copyrighted material, Jeremy.
Yeah. Can we just
Wait,
can?
who-
Oh, what's
who
the
took-
what's
who
the
took the
thing where it's
grappling
called where
belt?
you like put your
Where's the
foot
grappling
on
belt?
it and
Uh-oh.
oh,
I'm afraid Aster has it.
Son of
he
a
does.
bitch.
He does. Another
There's
thing
one,
lost.
There's got to be
I
more,
could be
right?
so cool.
Oh.
Like
You can modify the belt into a gauntlet so you can.
That's another
like,
thing
I've
lost to
already
the
got
Dragon
an
Heist
ability
campaign.
that I can't use because I can't get up to heights yet.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Sounds
figure
like a
that
personal
out.
Problem.
What ability
Well,
can't
I'm
you use
eventually
if you
gonna be
can't
able
get
to
up
run up
height?
enough, but
Well, he has his spear has a little bit of a secret to it. We'll Anyways, so moving from Matashtai, all fun stuff, wonderful, interesting. Moving from Matashtai over to Bones. Bones, what have you picked up for level
So-
6?
I don't
Yes.
think I get anything. Oh, I got expertise. I get expertise. I got bone carvers, tools, and
Is your
something else.
does sneak attack go up at 6, or was that 5?
Acrobatics? Does it? Oh shit! Let me look. It's not. It's 7. It goes
It's
up at
7. Okay, it goes up at 7. I knew it was happening soonish, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, no, I don't get shit.
Oh,
I carve. Good.
Expertise is pretty
yeah,
good.
Boy.
So. All right, so a little bit of expertise, very nice. Since Ezra has stepped away, we'll go up to Ashes. What's your 5 to 6?
From 5 to 6. A little background with Ashes when he was in the Order of Sharp Teeth. New and upcoming hunters are assigned a mentor.
Sure.
His mentor happened to be a blue dragonborn. And
Same.
thus, his rite that he was taught initially was Rite of the Storm. And through his travels up to Waterdeep, anytime he's used his rite, he's always been trying to see, like, maybe I can get something else out of it. Nope, still Storm, all right? But last night, he finally able to conjure Rite of the Frozen.
Okay, so you now have thunder and ice.
Conjured.
Yep,
Okay,
that's it. That's literally all I got.
well,
Did I hear
sure.
dragon?
Do what?
Did I hear dragon?
You did.
You
You
did.
did.
You did hear dragon. I think there's some pretty interesting stuff that you've done with the backstory of Ashes, though, with your kind of like combo stuff that
So, I've
that
only
hasn't
done
really
this,
come to
once
light.
in the
Yeah.
campaign. Every rite, and since I'm a Zerial Tiefling, I get smites.
You get smites. Yep.
So I can write my damage, and I can then cast a smite.
Smite.
And when I hit something, those two different elements will proc at the same time.
Yep.
So I make combos of all the fucking possible combinations I've got.
Yeah.
I did
Don't
that
say
once.
don't say the combos or anything like that, because I think as we unlock them, that might become a thing. Anyways, so that's cool. That's cool. So now you have access to a little bit more customization as far as like, do your rights do anything besides just elemental damage?
No, the rights just do your basic
That could be
thunder.
like a cool way to amplify the
With,
character with like special items or blessings or things like that, is to cause your rights to like do something else. Like if you're talking
smites,
like
however-
prestige classes or
Yeah.
things like that, that would be cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
My design brain is taking over at that point, because characters in 5th edition need to be any stronger than they already are. Absolutely. Anyways, that's cool. Moving on over to Ezra. Ezra, what have you picked up? Do you get a second spell for 3rd level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Third spell.
Oh,
Start
third
with
one.
2.
Gotcha,
So,
gotcha.
so I have 3 third-level spell slots.
Cool, cool, cool.
Along with that, 6th-level sorcerer of the storm archetype
Oh yeah,
gets resistance to lightning and thunder damage.
that's gonna be useful
Seems fairly
potentially.
useful. Along with that, when I cast a slotted spell, I do a 10-foot radius AoE damage based on half my level to things I choose.
Yeah.
So I can choose
Very
to
nice.
deal 3 damage to anything around me as I cast a level.
Is there a
spell.
limitation on how many times you can do that per day?
Nope, it's just
It's
every
just
time
if
I
if
cast
you
a
wanna.
slotted spell.
That's pretty dope. Pretty
Yep.
pretty dang dope.
Yep. Along with
Cool.
that, I have the ability to control rain in a 20-foot radius around me or wind,
Nice.
just as a fun little RP.
So,
That's
yeah, that
really
sounds like a fun level for you. Holy crap. Cool.
Same. I'm controlling rain.
Look, you're like literally you're bone bending over there, fam.
Yeah, we
It's
can't
a
flip
bone
each
bender.
other out. I always want the opposite of what he wants.
So, so that's what everyone has kind of like updated to. That's really cool. I think I'm excited to see everyone in action. I'm excited to see you guys progressing, not just in levels but also in terrain. Right, heading from level 1 of the dungeon down into the arcane chambers. But before we get back to that, like I said, the 10ths or the
Oh, one more
10s.
thing.
What's up?
All of my stuff is magical now.
Ooh, all the time.
That's a big thing.
Yep.
That's you.
Nothing can
all
resist
of your
me.
attacks are magic. Yep.
All the
Yeah,
stuff, all the
fucking none
time.
of
When,
my
when
shit's
it comes to
magical.
dealing with resistance to non-magical weapons.
Yeah, but he doesn't have your fucking sneak attack.
Okay.
I'm just. You do a lot of damage.
Not enough.
Not enough. That's our mechanics boy there.
Did we
Okay.
decide, what if you said some shit about stuff not resetting yet?
No. So-
No, he did not.
Now you're talking about the 10-day.
So now now to the
Yeah,
10
the
days.
10-day.
So as
This is the
I was
last
saying,
day of a 10-day.
no, this is the the way I'm
According to the calendar, the 20th is the last day
I
of the second week.
I'm aware. And I think it. Oh God,
Zach,
Zach, is that you? Mute yourself.
I'm away from the keyboard. Okay, sorry, just a second.
What is that?
Garbage
sounded like a
disposal.
garbage disposal. Yeah.
That was
Come on,
so
Zach.
loud, Zach. What
It
in the
smelled when I
world?
walked past it, so I was gonna run it with
Oh,
some water and soap.
Oh no,
real quick.
I get running it. It's surprising that it picked up that much. Anyways, so I think it's kind of to do a thing on the 1st and the 11th and the 21st and the 1st and the 11th. And so instead, I'm doing things on the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th of every month. Okay, so.
Cool.
That's just there's no particular rhyme or reason other than that I like the symmetry of zeros more than I like the symmetry of ones. So
Sounds good.
so the 10 days are going to be when we do our rolls, our rollovers, and that's going to be a couple of things. So the first of these things, and this might be the one that you guys are the most interested in, so I'm going to tell you it first and then give you access to it, is that the magic shop inventories roll over every 10 day. Okay? And so this means a little bit, right? The way, and we might change this later on, but this is kind of the concept for now. What we are doing is every week that goes by, you guys have the option of purchasing items without any real like uptime or downtime or anything like that. You guys have the ability to purchase items from the magic shop. It's not really a magic shop, from the auctions, right? From being the fact that you guys are regarded by people like Mert or the Black Staff or things like that. You guys get fed information and you're aware of certain things that are going up for sale. So you guys can purchase from this. when you purchase something, obviously that takes it off the list, right? However, regardless of whether something is purchased or not, every week a certain number of things fall off the list, okay? And they are replaced. So it's that scenario of you can't always just hope that, hey, we can save up and eventually get to this item, because that item may not be on the list forever, right? Because someone else, the concept being someone else might come along and buy it instead of you, right? So that's what it kind of shows. So I'm going to link you guys the new and updated list.
Links it. We needs it.
He needs it. All right, so that is now linked in the Discord. Right? So there should be, and what I've done is I've kept the previous week, right? And I have marked what you guys purchased on the previous week, right? That's marked in that kind of orangey color.
It's
And
called
then
burnt umber. You live in Texas.
yes, it's burnt umber. I apologize. You
Jeez.
cheeky bastard. And then on the next tab, right, is basically all of the new stuff.
Oh, it's a tab. Okay, I was trying to figure out where the fuck.
Yeah,
the new
so
stuff-
there are going to be tabs along the bottom, right? And I will probably reorder them. But the blue stuff is all of the new stuff.
Jeremy,
And
that's baby blue.
it has replaced all of, technically it's like a teal, actually. It has replaced.
Technically, it's more of a cyan if we're gonna be pedantic.
Wow.
Well, I'm just gonna say.
the world that I live in right now. So you guys feel free to look over this list. There's plenty of new, interesting stuff added on there. Some of it is very cheap. Some of it's very expensive.
So many shields.
Oh, 225,000 gold, huh?
Just how it works out. All of this stuff is it is determined via rolling on tables in the DMG, and the prices and determination for things like that are out of the Xanathar's rules. So these prices are not just random, right? They are designed based off of what the DMG and Xanathar's Guide to Everything considers to be fair for magic items.
I will purchase the cap of water breathing.
I was
Okay,
just
so-
looking at that.
Before we go crazy on I'm gonna purchase this, you guys can, while I continue, because I have a couple of other things to talk about on reset days, you guys talk amongst yourselves in the chat, jot down things that you might want, etc. And then when we're done, we'll do a little like full on shopping. Okay, I buy this, etc. Okay? So other stuff so this is going to happen every week. Every 10-day, the auctions are going to reset themselves. They'll go back up to 30 items. Some of the items that are still there will fall off. All of the items you previously purchased will be replaced, etc. Okay? So we'll see how things go. Anyways. Anyways. So,
Like, you use it once and you never get it again, and it's gonna cost me 4,000 gold?
well, the potion. Here's the thing. A funny thing about the
Bullshit.
potion prices and the scroll prices is they're actually half the price of what the item normally would be. So that item would normally be 8,000.
How many
But-
times can
but-
I use the thing if it was
But because it's a
How
potion,
many times can I use a potion?
look.
It should be minuscule.
No, not minuscule. No, because they're generally they're effects that will, for a single time, basically let you power through something,
It'll last me a
or
goddamn
ignore something.
minute.
I don't even know which item it is you're talking about, or which potion
Don't
it
fucking
is.
worry about it. It's still stupid.
I just know that he's just like no.
Stupid.
Oh goodness gracious.
Fucking okay.
it is what it is.
25,000 gold for a potion of speed.
Wow,
1
that's
minute of
crazy.
haste.
I mean, I would really like haste.
Yeah, but what could you do with that, right? Like in
I
the
would
right
succeed
situation.
in one fight.
Yeah, but that could be.
Good thing you have a sorcerer that can twin
$25,000
spell
fight.
haste.
Well, so here's the thing, right?
Oh,
Like
shit,
you're
yeah.
not you're 6th level. You're not supposed to be after $25,000 potions right now. But when you're 14th or 15th level, right? A 25,000.
No more.
Well, but that's still going to be a nice pocket,
True.
right? So that you don't have to worry about it, right? You're like,
Not for
if
25K,
I'm,
it's not.
I think you underestimate how much money you could potentially make in the
I think
lower
you
levels of this dungeon.
underestimate how much I don't want to spend 25K on a push.
Okay, well
I think you
that's a
underestimate how
different
much
thing.
I'm never gonna buy a potion.
I
Well,
would rather just
look.
die. I would rather die in the dungeon.
You know
I
what?
accept death.
You
Death
know what?
is cheaper.
I forgot that I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons economies with millennials, I suppose.
Okay, boomer.
Jeremy is definitely not a boomer.
I know.
Oh my goodness. It's fake money. Spend the fake money. Come on.
No. I'm
Anyway,
trying to run a business.
Anyways, moving on, letting you guys shop. Other things that happen on the 10-day. On the 10-day, whatever your renown scenario is at, right? Whether or not your renown is ticking up or ticking down with different factions in the city. Basically, like if you have done something to incite ire from a faction, right? If you fix it, or if this is basically one of those like, oh, you haven't done anything about it, now it ticks up or it ticks down, right? So renown updates every 10-day, okay? And now you guys don't necessarily know the results of that update. But if you, in the future, if you guys want to like try to keep a bead on your reputation with different factions, etc., right, that is something that you guys can get into. But for now, I will tell you what your current renown is in the city every 10-day, and then when we get to the next one, I'll tell you again what the update is. So currently, you guys are sitting at a positive 9 renown. Okay? So
Cool.
what that generally means is, overall in the city, you guys are not very well known, but the people who do know you tend to know you favorably. Okay? So, that's something that happens every 10 days. Your renown, or your renown ticks up. Okay? Third thing that is going to happen is this is directly involving the Lifted Spirits, right? Lifted Spirits works on a weekly productivity cycle. So every 10 days, I'll ask for a roll from the players, right? And that roll will help determine how profitable or successful the Lifted Spirits was. And that is tied into a number of other factors. So, who would like to make the roll for the Lifted Spirits? Okay, roll me a 1d100. Okay, we got a 66. Alright, so let me do a little bit of calculation real quick. There's 66. Alright. So that is going to be 66 plus your renown, right? Because you guys being famous and having positive renown adds to the productivity of your establishments. Okay? Plus any advertising that's going on. You guys currently have no going on. Plus the staff bonus. And this is basically the experience level of your staff members, right? So the better your staff members are, the better service and production they do, right? So the more fame your establishment acquires. Your current staff bonus is a +1 because you guys have a couple of green people, which are -1s, a couple of veterans, which are 0s, and a couple of experienced people, which are 0s, and a couple of veterans, which are 1s. Right? So that kind of evens out to a 1 right now. And then you guys have any other bonuses that get added. You guys currently have a +1 to your other bonuses, and that is for having a full-time entertainer. So,
Sweet. Hey, I'm glad things are working out.
yeah. So you guys go from a 66 on your roll, right? And you add 11 to that, so you guys are now at a 77 for your overall productivity. What does that give you? All right. Someone roll me a 3d10.
Slash roll.
Very good.
You're welcome. 3d10.
Okay. All right. So, you guys were just under having like really good luck there. All right. So that is going to be all right. So, it is a productive week for the lifted spirits with a 77. But productive is not extremely great in the long haul. After all your expenses are paid, which includes the 40 gold that you pay for wages weekly, the 10 gold you pay to Rainair for his cut, basically the payback for the loan to start up the business, 10 gold for guild expenses, and 10 gold for maintenance and perishables, basically food and stuff like that. That's a 70 gold charge weekly is what it is currently. So you guys made 95 gold. So after all bills are paid, your cut is 25 gold. So,
All right.
party, you have gained an additional 25 gold from the successful running of your business.
Let's
So
put it back into the business.
are you literally just gonna leave
Put
it with
back
Cine?
into the business.
Okay, so what that will do, right?
It's fucking staff bonuses, whatever.
So what we'll do, right, is we'll go through
Keep
a
morale.
certain level. So you can advertise for your business, all right?
Let's send
And
them
you
to a
can
team building retreat.
you can spend up
Team
to
building.
10 gold per
I want
week
pictures
to
of a rope
advertise.
course.
Okay?
If they don't have a
So
rope course, they're not going.
Cine will immediately take 10 of that 25 and put it towards advertising, right? And then he will take the other 15 and he will divvy that out to staff and or utilize it for different things around the tavern. If you guys give him specific instructions, he'll do something with that money, but otherwise he'll basically just use it as your steward, right? He'll just use it as he sees fit to try to improve the establishment. Okay? What a staff bonus will do is basically, if you're giving your staff bonuses, that increases their morale, which increases their chances to tick up experience at the end of every month. At the end of every month, staff basically accumulate experience and they can level up. So eventually, if you pay your staff well and you treat them right, they will eventually level up and all become like veterans and masters of their crafts. And if you have a bunch of veterans and masters of your craft running your business, then you get a lot of popularity, basically. So, but that's long down the road. Anyways, moving onward. So let me mark this real quick. Awesome. I will calculate that later. Cool. So I'm gonna assume you guys dealt with what you want to buy and how you want to do things?
We are purchasing the Periapt of Wound Closure, either for
Ooh,
Ashes
okay.
or myself.
Okay. Periapt. Alright. So that's a good buy, right? Because that's only 600 dragons. So that's a nice one. And
I would also...
Periapt of Wound Closure allows you to, if you're dying at the start of the turn, you stabilize. And whenever you roll hit dice, you gain double the number of hit points. So that's pretty dope.
I would also like the Rope of Climbing.
Okay.
second. I'm going to deduct gold.
All right, so the rope of climbing basically is just a rope that climbs for
Goes
you.
where I tell it.
Yeah, it's basically. So you can use it in some pretty interesting ways, because you can tell the rope to fasten itself, or knot itself, or coil itself, or things like that. You can't like. It's not a rope of like tying someone up, so you can't be like rope of climbing, go tie that person up, but you can be like rope of climbing, tie yourself to that person. You know, like you could in theory do that, right?
Rope of climbing, light yourself on fire.
I don't think that's an option.
And then we are also going to pick up the cap of water breathing.
Ooh, okay. Cool.
In case there are any nautical adventures to be had.
Cap of water breathing. Sure. Okay, so that's another 200 dragons. The rope of climbing was 500 dragons. So you guys are looking at what, 1,300 dragons right now? Are you paying as a group, or are you?
Well, so I was buying the rope and the cap because I figured I'd keep those on me. But Jay, did you want to wear the periapt?
I mean, if it's an option, yes.
Okay, then you pay for the periapt.
The period is paid for.
Okay. Sounds good.
Jeremy, what kind of holiday is this? Is this like Black Friday, or is this
Now,
like
the cap of water breathing? If we want to spend on a group, that's fine. I just figured we should pick it up in case we run into a nautical area.
Okay.
I was holding my breath.
So what were you saying, Zach?
Is this like Black Friday, or is this like Thanksgiving?
This is more like a combination between
Black Friday and Thanksgiving?
Not Black Friday. This is more of a combination between. It's like a Thanksgiving meets like Thanksgiving meets like Christmas, right? So it's more about eating and spending time with the people you care about and the people you know, right? So it's Thanksgiving-y in that sense, but there is it's expected to like give gifts, small gifts and things like that, more like sentimental things, not like I bought you a boat, you know? Like it's more like I know you love boats, so I found you a little wood carving of the ship that you grew up on, right? It's sentimental stuff, right?
Did we get the staff gifts? I think we talked about that.
So as you all break your fast this morning, let's actually jump into this real quick since it got brought up. There is a small gathering on the morning of last sheaf by the staff before the establishment is opened, and they are exchanging gifts with one another. Everyone is here, and you are asked to come down by Cine, right? And as you guys arrive, right, the whole staff stops, right? Because they're kind of like intermingled, and they're chittering with one another and exchanging little things, and having private conversations, and then jumping around. There's a little like breakfast bar that's or a little breakfast arranged out on the bar that people are like partaking of. It's mostly like dried fruits and things like that, right? Well, but there are
No, it's fine. There's no eggs.
If you will give me a second, I can actually bring up exactly what the menu is. Un momento. Lifted spirits, meals for last sheaf, breakfast. Ooh, actually, there are eggs. Specifically, there are hippogriff eggs.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna give me some eggs. I love hippogriffs.
There's it's basically like it's kind of a hearty breakfast. It's like hippogriff eggs that have been scrambled, but there's also basilisk tail, which is kind of it's more like a sausage type scenario. And then there's apples, both dried and sauced, and then there's millet. Anyways, as you guys kind of come down, the celebration kind of stops, right? And the whole staff gathers. And then Sine kind of brings you guys all together. And he says, everyone pooled in order to get you these. And he waves Threnarv over, and Threnarv kind of brings over a little box that has, so it's like a little crate that has these two handles, and it's lined with some sort of like fabric to cushion things. And then inside are these 4 like individually wrapped bundles, right? And they kind of like leave it for you on the bar there in front of you. Do you guys, would you like to open your presents?
Yes, I feel also,
Yes.
again, I'm going to state that I feel very confident that we talked about getting them a gift.
I took care of it.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay.
So,
I paid a shit ton for that if that did not happen.
you didn't pay a shit ton for
I
it, but you
paid
did.
10 gold for what he said would be like 3.
Yes.
That's a shit ton.
We're going to get there.
That's
Yeah,
shit done.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I want to
it's-
open my gift.
So,
Oh, yeah, gifts, boys.
all right.
Boy.
What you guys find? Okay, so Bones, you open up yours, right? And as you, so each one, it's kind of like they're all wrapped in like gift wrapping paper, right? Or like little bundles of paper mache and stuff like that. So each one has like a little tag with each of your names on the top. So Bones, you see yours, and you reach in, grab it, and you start to pull away the paper, and you find underneath a little statuette. Maybe about 6 or 7 inches high, made from smooth granite, and it's pretty weighty, and it looks pretty involved, primarily because it is attempting to depict something in motion. The base of the statuette is a large, smooth chunk of granite, but it's tapered up at its end, and it reaches up, right? So it's kind of like this
Is it like the
rock,
Black Panther Mountain?
but it's like this little tapered portion that reaches up, and the tapered portion is holding a tabaxi in the process of leaping through the air with 2 daggers held downwards, right? What it looks like, honestly, is best description that I can give you off the top of my head. It looks like a little mini statuette of Rengar jumping at someone, is what
Oh,
it looks
dope.
like. Yeah, and it's
Damn,
made
maybe I should
it's made out of one piece of granite that has been ground
Damn.
down and smoothed over.
That's pretty
I-
dank cool.
It means so much to me that you guys got me something that's not metal.
Nope. Who's up next?
Inside, there's a metal framework that they used.
Whatever, I'll just not break it.
Matashtai, you find in your gift is a
Matt is
smaller.
very meticulous when he opens gifts.
Okay.
All the wrapping.
All of the wrapping like
Together.
pieced together perfectly.
Uh-huh.
You find within yours, you find another statuette. This one is slightly smaller. It's about 4.5 to 5 inches tall. But you find a marble statuette of a monk in horse stance. And though it's bald, right? So it does not like a perfect representation
No!
of you, but it does have this great flowing beard that's kind of like in motion, like a wind is hitting the monk from the front. So this beard
could
is
make
like
you
flowing
bald.
up and over the shoulder, right? While he's standing here in this horse stance, like he's facing the wind, right? And then Ezrah,
That's pretty.
you find within yours is a pale jade figure of what might be a half elf or an elf or a human with maybe overly pointy ears. You're not sure. Like it's detailed, but it's not detailed enough to make that out exactly. But what is important is that it's clearly some sort of caster or magician, and that the statuette is weaving arcane lightning. So it has these two hands out, and there's this kind of like arc of jade from one hand to the other, right? And that is your little statuette that you've been given. It looks significantly older than you, though. So, and Ashes, you find in the last gift, you find a statuette made from jet. And it's incredibly smooth. And there's not nearly as much detail in the design as there was with the other three, right? However, it clearly depicts a tiefling, right? Because there are two little curly black horns coming up out of its head. And yours might be like the least accurate depiction as far as a character goes, and it's probably because they just had the hardest time finding a tiefling. But it's this little statuette of Jet, right, with this curly horn tiefling, and he's kind of like opening his he's opening his shirt to reveal this broadened chest. So it's kind of like romance novel-esque, right? As far as
that tracks.
Yeah, that
sounds like
that's
Ashes.
exactly Ashes, right? But there was clearly like thought and effort put into the purchase of these. These weren't made for you guys, but clearly someone meticulously went through looking for things until they found what was at least appropriate approximations as far as the staff was concerned. So that is so the staff gives you these gifts, right? And they're all like very interested in watching how you receive them, right? And they're very happy, right, to give you these gifts. And afterwards, there's this kind of like air of expectation in the air, and Cine kind of like, oh, right. And he goes off to one corner and pulls out a box from underneath the one of the countertops, right? And he starts to hand out these little bundles to each of these staff members, and they are
Children, surprise!
Children bones.
They are nice, right? They are you watch as the different members unwrap their gifts, and they're little bundles of potpourri and incense and oils. They're expensive, right? This is some nice stuff, right? But there is this kind of like people are like, oh, this is so nice, thank you, oh, we appreciate it. But there's this air of a lack of personal touch, right? And it kind of hangs over the staff for a moment, right? So there's
welcome to corporate Christmas, ladies.
There's this legitimate thing where you have this moment of understanding where like the staff is having this scenario where they're willing to like throw in with you guys, and they feel like they've kind of gotten a little bit of a cold shoulder. It's not always about the money. Sometimes it's about taking that time or that extra step to have a personal touch, to show that you know the name of all of your staff members, maybe, you know.
All right.
I mean, maybe if the group wasn't so intent in going into the dungeon yesterday.
But that is entirely up to you
Don't
guys.
blame the group. You didn't do anything extra.
That's
I
entirely
paid
up to you
for it.
guys. That's
You
entirely
did.
up to you
You
guys.
didn't go in to find out more about them. Don't blame the group.
Before we go off. Anyways, so this is just
This is all Jeremy's fault.
this
He's trying
is-
to tear us apart.
this is me getting to have a little bit of fun as a DM and go, hey,
Fuck off! They just got a bonus. All right,
How-
shut your goddamn mouths.
however, right, like I was saying, if this is me doing that whole like reminding you guys, if you guys want to be involved in the lifted spirits and you want that to be a thing, you have that opportunity. It can provide bonuses for you. It can give back, as the case may be. But if you guys super aren't interested in it, I'll occasionally poke you with things like this, but that's all you have to worry.
Goddamn English.
They're not gonna be like, oh, they don't care about us, we quit, or anything like that. But
So
I want
my
my
problem with
Christmas
it
bonus
is
back
that
is what I
if
would
I was
like.
still playing Tulip, I would be very invested in it.
sure.
But as Matt, I don't have as much of a stake in.
Well, I
Yeah,
can tell
have
you this.
no
Here-
equity, so
Here's the thing, 100%. This is something that you guys can interact with as players, right, on the side, without really having to worry about, would this be something my character does? If you think it's cool as a player to be like, yeah, I would in my off time, right, not in the game, not taking 20 minutes to go do this whatever thing, but in my off time, hey, I want to look around for this thing because I think it'll make Anna Wing happy, right? Because you buy her a 6-fingered glove, you know?
does she have 6 fingers?
Yes, she has
She
6
killed
fingers.
my father.
She might have. That remains to be seen, Ezra. You shouldn't ask things like that.
I'm okay with it.
Huh.
It was both a joke outside and inside.
And inside, it serves two purposes. But yeah, anyways, so that if you are interested as players, and keep that in mind for anything in the future, you guys know how I am as a DM. If you're interested in something as a player, but you don't think your character would be interested in, talk to me and we'll figure out a way for you to have fun doing that thing without having to worry about what the character would do, etc. Because why not? There's no reason not to. We make decisions not based on our characters all the time, you know?
Lies.
I know. I'm just like it's hard to see where that appropriate level of
100%.
involvement.
I get you. Just something to think about, you know, going forward. So no big deal. Anyways, what was it? The gifts that have been given to you by the staff are not the only gifts waiting for you guys here this
Jesus
morning.
Of course
Christ.
they're not. Jesus, goddamn it.
Really
where-
digging
This
that
whole
night in.
episode is gift giving.
Where's our goddamn? Where's the changeling? Get
So,
the changeling in here to run out right now.
real quick, there's only two other
We said 20 gold limit.
there's only two other things that have
It's like half
arrived
your
for
salary
you.
For 2 of them.
One thing is there is a small box, and it is tagged. It has a
Do we have a team name yet?
It is addressed. That's what I was looking for, specifically to Matashtai.
For me?
Team name is
Yep.
Carpe Disco 2 Electric Boogaloo.
No, it's I refuse. So, yeah, you find
Matt's
there's a
excited. He's
little
into
bitty
it.
little bitty box, right? Wrapped in basic brown paper, nothing special.
Slowly.
Okay,
open
so
the
you
brown
slowly,
paper.
meticulously open, and inside, right, as soon as you pop the first one, there's like a little note, right? And it just says, "From the neighborhood boys."
What does that mean?
and-
what have you been getting up to, dog?
And so, if you guys will remember, on
Damn.
the day of the first frost, Matashtai
Oh, yeah, I got into a
specifically
snowball fight.
Oh.
went out and started engaging in
Engaging.
activities around engaging. Really, we're gonna chuckle about engaging. Engaging.
Yeah,
went
it's
out and
prostitute.
engaged
That's
the
nice wording.
children in the North Ward and partook in their games, right? And that left an impression. If you guys do things to involve yourselves in the communities around Waterdeep, they will tend to remember it. So Matashtai, you have been
Not be in the
gifted.
dungeon.
It's nothing big, but you have been gifted a small box of hard candies.
Hell yeah!
That's all it is. It's a box of, there's maybe like 15 in here, right? And they're all little chunks of like, they're basically like Jolly Ranchers and stuff like that, right? Like little box of fruit
Are
hard
they specific
candies.
flavors?
There are it's like a variety box.
So can I just work off of Jolly Rancher flavors?
Absolutely.
All right.
There are both fruity and what would be the other word? Not
I throw out
fruity?
anything not fruity. I throw out anything not fruity.
So like half of them are like like caramels or other things like that,
Yeah,
right?
You got
Or like
anything fish
not
flavored?
maybe not caramels, but like you'll have like a
I
root
searched
beer
for
flavored
fish-flavored
one,
hard candy.
things like that. Fish flavor. I don't think there's nothing necessarily like savory as far
Sea
as
salt.
they go.
What about Swedish fish? Are there any of those
Oh.
in there?
Yeah, is there
sea
there
salt
like
taffy.
saltwater? Yeah, saltwater.
Saltwater
taffy.
taffy.
Yeah.
No, they're all hard candies. Sorry.
I mean,
I toss Bones a caramel.
You guys can partake and have some fun with them.
yeah, eat it.
There is another gift. And this gift is in a big basket, right? With great bows all around it. And it's quite large. And Sine brings it over, and he says, when he says this in this kind of like questioning tone, right? He says, "This also arrived for you, sirs, just this morning, just from a Jarlaxle Baneray."
Jesus.
Yeah, hey.
Rutro.
Is it ticking or?
If
Is
Ezra
it
could get
taking-
any more pale,
Oh shit!
the rest of Ezra's skin slowly starts to match his vitiligo.
You guys unwrap the gift basket.
Yeah, let me check it for traps just real quick.
With my
Go ahead,
Oh,
go ahead. Have at it.
it.
Roll me a perception or investigation.
All right, I will definitely perceive. 18.
18.
I rolled a 12, but my passive is 18.
Okay, gotcha. So you give it a once over. It just looks like a nice holiday gift basket. There's a card on the front.
Any white powders?
Nope. No white powders. No C4, no hidden poison dart traps or anything like that.
Baneray.
What is it again?
You don't know yet. You haven't unwrapped it.
Yeah.
I unwrap it.
I would use my mage hand. I would tell the guys that this could be
I get all up in there because
It's just like
wanted to kill us. He just fucking kill
forget
us.
it. As you unwrap it, you find a basket full of
Kittens?
Kittens? Is it kittens?
Is it dead kittens?
It's full of jars, and each of the jars has a label on them, and they are all
Body
hot.
parts?
They're all
Yeah, fingers.
they're all hot pepper jams and jellies, and
Oh,
each
hell
one
yeah, give me some
each one
jam
has like a
jellies.
little name on it, right? And it also has a location on it. And some of these are listed locally. Others are listed from locations up and down the Sword Coast, right? Familiar locations. But then other locations, you see one that's from Kalimshan. And then you see one from Chult. And then you even see there's one from as far away as Thay.
Damn, is he saying he knows where we live? Is that
And
what's going
so
on
it's
there?
it's just this
Matt proceeds to stick a finger in every one.
Power play.
it's
guys.
just this big basket of hot pepper jams and jellies.
This is his cookie cutter. He has
And
like
there is
hundreds of these jams, and
I'm
he packages
watching
them.
you.
There is a little note, a
What's the
little
note
card
say?
on it.
I'll
You guys
read
want
it.
to read it, and the note says, "To my dear friends, I wish you all the best. and I hope that your fortunes continue to be favorable.
Oh, he's so considerate.
He's the best.
He's the best bad guy. He is like the best bad guy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
what if there's
So,
like just enough meth in each of these jars to get you addicted?
There's actually a needle with a very deadly poison at the bottom of each one.
So would Ezra and Bones, would they have told Matt and Ashes about their interaction with Jarlaxle at the end of Dragon Heist?
Ezra probably would not have been forthright about that twist of events.
Would
Well, I would assume
Bones?
that Matt and Ash both have like at least like a general idea of who
You
he
have
is.
both been. Well, here's the thing. You guys would have both been apprised coming into this scenario. Perhaps separately if the party is not like super. So you wouldn't have all the details. But Ash's, you would have been apprised by, or praised by Vajra of kind of like the basics of what went on. Matashtai, you would have been appraised by Laral of the basics of what went on. So you guys would at least know about Dragon Heist, about the Vault of Dragons, and about the previous party finding and kind of what they did, etc. But you might not know all of the details.
Would they have told us?
If they would have asked, Ezra would have said, but Ezra
Well-
wouldn't have been forthright. Oh yeah, we know Jarlaxle. He's our homeboy.
Sure.
I'm just gonna say, if Ashes knows who Jarlaxle is, at least in some terms,
Yeah.
and we receive a gift box addressed from him, he's going to be a little curious why on earth he would be sending pepper jams to us.
Because we're spicy, bro.
Seems like a
That
real
would
nice
not
guy.
be a suitable answer.
Is it? It's because we're snacks.
All right. So,
I
that
wish
is
you think those goddamn braces are flying daggers instead.
those are
What
the
games? What like games are all the kids playing these days in Waterdeep? What's all the rage?
all the
Twister.
rage.
Stick hoop?
Stick
Connect
hoop.
Four.
That is a classic. It's less of a classic in the winter months, which you guys are currently in, because it's
Rock
generally very slushy or frozen here, so it's hard to play stick hoop.
Which snowball has the rock in it?
That happens, but that's generally like the
That's
older
generally not on
groups.
purpose.
Yeah. No. A
Gay
lot
chicken.
of what kids play in Waterdeep is like basic normal games, but in the City of Splendors, kids tend to be attracted to trouble, and they tend to be attracted to going to places that they're not supposed to go. There's a whole bunch of places that are like very knowingly magical, right? Or seen with a lot of superstition. And kids tend to head in those directions. In the North Ward, where you guys are at, probably the closest thing that kids tend to get into a lot of trouble playing around or playing on or doing things on is the shattered remains of the Sword Maiden, one of the great statues that animated in previous years.
Jimmy, this is not helpful because I want to get them a gift, and I don't want to
Oh.
get them a gift that encourages them to
Oh,
get into
okay.
trouble.
So if you
Because
want
I've
to
done that in a past campaign, and
If
the
you-
kid cut himself.
if you want to find if you yeah, dude.
Oh, shit!
That's a good callback. Holy crap.
Oh,
I remember that.
Get him fucking knee pads and elbow pads.
No, if you're interested in things like that, honestly, things like jacks,
Ow!
like things like jacks, or things like different balls, or different like things like frisbees or things like that. Those are popular things. If you
ice skates. What about ice skates for the whole crew?
For
Get
the
each
whole
child a
crew? we're
Let's teach him how to play Chin Chin.
assuming you're talking about like the main crew that runs around here, that's probably about 15 to 20 kids.
Okay, sure.
What are ice skates, like 2 silver repairs, some shit?
Ice skates aren't super well. Okay, I mean, you can buy super cheap ice skates.
I got two questions.
Sure.
What's the price of ice skates?
Yes.
And what was the shape of their boots that they were running around in?
North collected pony.
Northward is for the most part relatively well off, so most of these kids are probably going to be decent. There might be a couple that you like seek buy some shoes type thing. If you wanna get a reciprocal gift back to the kids and kind of like keep them in your good favor, you could drop 10 gold and buy them some ice skates, some nice shoes, a ball or two.
What about hockey sticks? Can I get
like,
them?
Hockey sticks?
Is hockey a thing?
I don't think hockey necessarily would be a
I'm gonna
thing.
commission hockey sticks because there's hockey in Eberron.
I imagine there would probably be something akin to there'd be a street hockey variant, right? Where they play with a ball and there is a goal and there are sticks. But I don't know that it's hockey. It's not like skiing because you can't ski on the streets, right? There are skating rinks in Waterdeep that open during the winter seasons, right? There's like 2 or 3 of them. So the ice skates are still a valid idea, but you can't like skate down the stone streets of Waterdeep. That fuck your skates up real quick.
All right. I'm gonna ice skates for the whole crew. I'm gonna get 10 sticks and then a ball for them to play hockey stuff with.
Okay.
I'm gonna support the crew. I'm gonna encourage kids to play outside.
All right.
And stay out of trouble.
They all get pneumonia.
Also,
and
I get
die this winter.
I get a whole bunch of Dare t-shirts.
Dare?
Really?
Like
yeah, the anti-drug.
Really? Really?
Make them sign pledges.
Really? Is this the route we're?
Dad would do a bunch of drugs in front of him.
Oh my goodness.
He's turning into Scruff McGruff.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you want to get some gifts for the kids, deduct 10 gold.
All right. I've deducted 10 gold. And I asked Cine to organize the gifts for them.
Sure.
And distribute it to the neighborhood youths. And then I pull out the cloth of gold vestments, and I ask Cine if these would fit him.
He looks at them like he honestly like looks them over to see if they would fit him, right? Because that was your question. So he gives them a once over. And... Yes.
Would you care for them for? I'm sorry. Y'all want these? Might be good for you to use in formal times or whatnot.
He looks at you and he says, "No offense. Gold's not really my color."
I pull out the black velvet mask.
So he basically like he gives you this like that thing is so garish, like sure it's opulent, but he's like that ain't me, dog.
All right, that's
right.
I put it back in.
So he doesn't want to like offend you because he appreciates the offer, he really does, but he's like, oh, that's super gaudy.
That's
and
fair.
he's like
fair.
I should just tell him now, because if I don't and I take it,
Then you have
I'll
to
be
wear
expected to wear it, and I don't want to wear that.
I would totally do that too. I'd be like, "Where's your cloth of gold vestments? I got you."
Absolutely. So he's cutting that off at the pass. He's like, that's not me. So, okay. But yeah, he'll take care of those arrangements for you. Sounds good. So is there We had a whole lot of fun with that random nonsense. Is there anything else? I have no other surprises. Is there anything else you guys want to do before? Are you guys heading back to the dungeon today? Or was it your intent to hang out and...
No, we were gonna hang out. We told him 36 hours.
Okay.
Oh,
The only
really?
other thing that I would want to do is stop by the blacksmith that we went to before.
Sure.
Yeah,
And see
let
if
me
they
go
could-
there. Too.
Or actually, I would first approach Bones,
Okay.
What's up, dog?
and I would ask if he would be able to craft me a weapon to the specifications of a katana made of bone.
Yeah, what's that? Just like a long sword with one side? Yeah, I can do that.
Folded 100 times.
Yeah, you can't fold bone. I'm just gonna be
You
honest.
can't
Look.
fold bone, bro.
Look, if you're not folding the bone, I don't know what to do here.
Well, I mean, enchanted.
But
I
yes,
don't know.
like a slightly curved katana.
Yeah, I can make you a one-sided longsword.
I would appreciate
Very
You called it.
insistent.
by its accurate name.
Yeah, it's gonna take me well, it would take 5 weeks, but it'll probably take a year and a half.
All right, let's go stop by the blacksmith.
Well, I'm just saying because I get about a day of work a month.
So therein lies the issue with trying to be both a crafter and an adventurer. Actually sitting down and crafting. So I think you and I, Zach, are gonna have a conversation about some of the crafting options, especially as you start working with the guild, because that's something that you're super interested in. I think 5 weeks for some things is kind of unreasonable. But in this scenario, I don't think you're not trying to craft a magical item. Are you trying to craft a masterwork item?
I
Or
can, yeah,
you
I can
just-
make you a piece of shit. You
or you
I can
just-
throw that together in the afternoon.
Or are you just wanting to make a sword? See, so that there's
I don't want it to suck
difference,
ass,
right?
but like it doesn't have to be the best thing you've ever made, I guess.
so
As cool as
Oh.
that would be.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't understand that part.
so
I guess I can throw you together a piece of shit in like 8 hours or so.
I don't. No, no, no. I don't like the. I don't like the terminology you're using. You won't call it by its proper name. I'm just going to the blacksmith.
Look, the one I think
just
the
going to the
one-sided
blacksmith.
longsword is super cool. I just don't
I'm
like.
going to the blacksmith.
oh man.
Look, I'm gonna go to the blacksmith too. We're gonna have this discussion in front of them.
Oh God.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
I think it would be cool if maybe you worked with them and maybe gave it like a really cool bone hilt.
I got some hilts.
Got some hilts. You do have some hilts, actually. You
Specifically-
legit.
Maybe the
I have some specifically not shit hilts.
Yep.
maybe the handle and the hilt could be made of bone. That'd be pretty cool. And then the blade is metal.
I don't know. I got some specifically not shit hilts though.
Okay.
All right, whatever. We're going to the blacksmith.
Okay.
Bones.
So you
Just
guys
not
head
right
you
now.
guys head out into the crisp chilly
You're
morning.
impeding on my creative process.
You head over to the Steam and Steel to meet up with Imbrick and Avi. Now, as a heads up, Last Sheaf, typically as a holiday, typically places don't close down, but most places do close early. So, you guys arrive at the Steam and Steel, but it is still very early morning. The doors are open. Or not the doors are open. Business is open. And Avi is there. You guys come in. Oh, you two. It's been a little while. Ah,
Has it? Hasn't it been like
How you
3
doing?
days, Avi?
it's been a little while.
4 days, maybe?
Something like that. What's up? What
Hey,
can
do
I
places
do
have
for
to
you?
Display their guild certificate on the wall or something?
No.
Damn.
I mean, I can show you our papers if you want. We have a stamp.
No, I was just wondering.
I was I was wondering if you could make me a sword.
Oh.
Avi just kind of like frowns slightly. Well, I could, but that's less my thing. Embrick! Just starts yelling. Yeah, right. Just starts yelling, and incessantly yelling. Just like doesn't move. Just yells and yells
Still keeping eye contact.
for a good like 15 seconds or so, and then there's this what? And Embrick's in the door, right from the back, and then he sees you guys and he goes, "Oh, hey!"
Hey, so you guys are the guild members, though, right?
No, we're guild members.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna catch up with you here in just a minute once Matt finishes his stuff.
Sure.
Well, I was wondering if y'all could make me stuck in my head now after Bones
One side of the longsword.
elegantly placed it. One side of the longsword. A katana, if ever.
Embrick kind of like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a one-sided longsword. Just a longsword with one side.
Well, Embrick says, well, it's not quite as simple as that. Like, there's a little bit more that goes into it. I mean, because if you're just talking about like a one-sided long sword, you could be kind of, a little bit more in the scimitar or a saber variant, right?
No, that's fair.
So, but Embrick knows he doesn't seem super familiar, right, with the crafting of said weapon, because it would be kind of like an exotic weapon or exotic weapon form, right? But he says, yeah, I can get it done, or I can find someone who can get it done.
That would be fantastic.
Looking for any specifications or anything like that? If you're just looking to pick up one, you might find one in the bazaar.
You don't say.
I mean, they have all kinds, especially around Last Sheaf. I mean, it's a little late at the moment, right? It's kind of morning of, but there are always people waiting until the last minute to pick things up. So the bazaar is still open, and there's all kind of strange things that they have trying to catch people's eyes. So yeah, I'd assume one or two of the shops might have one. So if that is what you wish, we can do that.
Here.
Sounds good. All right, so you dismiss yourself from Embrick and Avi, and Bones, you take over. And what can we do for you?
Hey guys, do you guys want any of this? And I pull out 1 ingot of iron.
So they both go into kind of like, ooh, okay, ooh, and they start looking at it. Embrick comes, he leaves the room for a second. He comes back, with what looks to be like a little chemistry set, right? And he asks if you're cool with him doing some tests, right?
I mean, yeah, sure.
So they weigh the thing and they look it up and down for impurities and things like that. He gets a little eyedropper and he drops a couple of different concoctions onto it. 1 or 2 of them sizzle, right, when they hit the iron bar, but they don't pocket surface or anything like that. And so basically, long story short, they kind of test the iron for the purity and quality. And at the end of it, they're both like, yeah, this is pretty good stuff.
Dope. Now I feel obligated to let you guys know. I don't know if I'm obligated to let you guys know or not, but maybe you can tell me if I'm obligated to let you know. So in the future, I will know.
Okay.
So I've joined the guild, a guild, Fine Carvers.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
I just wanted to make sure we're doing this right? Is there like set pricing? Do I have to offer it to guild people first? I mean, you are guild people, but I just want to make sure.
Sure, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Well, I mean, technically...
They didn't really tell me the rules. They just had me sign the book.
Right. Well, Embrick and Avi kind of look at you and they say, honestly, let's be real. You seem more the adventuring type than the crafter type, so they're probably under the assumption that you're gonna be doing that more often than the other. But
Yeah, well, probably Ezra doesn't let me ever have a break.
I love it. Okay, so they let you know, right? As far as the rules are concerned, being a member of the guilds does not necessarily mean that you can only do business with other guild members. It is kind of a power of the guilds and power of the consumers, especially within the guilds, that they kind of do try to avoid doing business outside of the guilds for things that make legitimate sense, right? Obviously. So like if a armor smith, right, refuses to join the guilds and is trying to cut into guild business and things like that, right, then the guilds would try to band together and shun that particular. Now, the guilds are separate entities, so you being a guild of fine carvers and Imbric and Avi being a guild of, I think is the guild of blacksmiths and metalworkers, right? It's not going to be, you guys aren't necessarily always on the same side, right? But as a general rule, the guilds tend to work together.
Are we like sharks and jets?
Not really. It's more along the lines.
You're a jet all the way from the first cigarette to your last dying day.
No, sir. Good job, but no, sir. No, it's more along the lines of the guilds work together, right? But at the end of the day, they're run by separate entities. You know? So they might occasionally have disagreements. One guild might end up having it out for another guild, etc. But as a general force, the guilds work together. So you doing business with Embrick and Avery is probably never going to be never going to be a bad thing, right? But if something does happen, then your guild representatives will come to you and be like, "Hey, as a heads up, we're feuding with this person or this faction or what have you. Don't do business with them."
Damn, I'm super down for a feud. Okay, got you. All right, cool. Well, I've got 120 of them.
So Embrick and Avi they're both just like on you.
Yeah. I'll reach in my bag and get another one.
All right. And so they'll step away, right, to talk amongst themselves, right? And then they come back and they will let you know that they are definitely interested in buying the lot from you, right?
Sure, yeah.
But they don't actually need iron right at this moment. They are in supply. They have iron in stock, right? And they get iron from their suppliers at a specific rate, right? So this is going to allow them to kind of like skim off the top of that for a little while, right? Pay for a little bit less here or there, and then just use this extra supply to gain a little bit of money here or there. But that being said, have I told you the price for this previously? I think I did, didn't I?
I think you did, but I don't remember.
So
If you did, I didn't write it down. I don't know.
The average-ish price, because I think you guys asked about like what's the average price for like a bar of iron ore or an iron ingot or whatever. So that's about 5 silver. So for this whole lot, it would probably be about 60 gold. Embrick and Avi are willing to take it off your hands for 50.
Yeah, man, I don't care. It sounds fine for me. I mean, we're neighbors. We do each other favors.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Which motherfucking one of these? Ooh, that's good. That's pretty good for
That's
me.
pretty
55%.
considering you have like
55%
nothing,
roll, baby.
right? I imagine this like real. I imagine this conversation, right? Because you're in the kind of like overly warm lobby of this blacksmith, right? And behind this counter is this like red tinted fire genasi and blue tinted water genasi, and then there's this cat man on the other side, right? Having this conversation. This is so fantasy world, right? And so Imbric and Avi kind of like look at you and just says, "We'll do 55. You're right. We're friends. We're neighbors."
Yeah, cool. Sounds good to me.
All right, so you can offload the iron ingots for 55 gold, and Imbric and Avi get to underwrite their costs for a little while, which is cool.
It's 13.75 each, boys. What? It was group loot. I'm not trying to steal. I ain't skimming.
13 gold?
Gotcha.
What?
What did you say?
What is it?
13.75
gold.
You can just take the
units.
change, bro.
Keep the change.
Okay. You guys can all have 13, and I'll take your 7.5 each. 3, 2. No.
Yeah, good.
Fucking 2.25.
This is 13 gold that we are talking about. Yes.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
55
I did not
divided
get any
by
confirmation on that.
55 divided by 4 is 13.75.
I didn't hear if it was gold, silver, or platinum that was the currency being exchanged.
Nah, it's
So
it's
I
gold.
wish they would play 55 platinum each. But that would be a
You
lot.
absolutely not. Absolutely
The price
not.
of iron is ridiculous in
No.
this town.
Super ridiculous. All right. So
Jeremy, I need,
Yes.
if there's a feud, for there to be a snapping march.
So okay, so you were all
So
taking
you know shit's
13,
going down.
and I'm taking 15.25. Is that correct?
Yeah.
in like 6 months, that's gonna happen. By the way, like I'm gonna launch. I'm gonna be like, as you walk out of the lifted spirits,
And
you
they
hear.
all have to be in jackets of the same color.
All right, is there anything else happening before Matashtai runs off to the bazaar to?
Oh, hey guys, do you guys know
buy
any
a sword?
like enchanters or something? Like, I'm real messed up right now.
Real messed up right now. Are you asking?
What's
You're
that
asking
mean?
Imbric and Avi?
I mean, so look, I'll just be honest with you guys. I'm philosophically opposed to using metal weapons. No offense, Embry. But you
He
know,
just kind of shrugs.
we're getting to the point in our adventuring where I don't have anything that can overcome some of the more interesting resistances, and I need to contribute. I need a little help.
Embrick and Avi. I think that they probably do know someone that that they tend to send things off to when a noble or a high paying customer is commissioning something from them, right? So they won't have a lot of specifics, but they have a name, right? And that would be. They'll let you know it is a individual named Ayatadin Guamiel.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Copy pasta that motherfucker.
And they'll ask, you want them to send him something or set up a meet or just let him know that you're interested in talking to him or what?
Just give him a heads up. We're gonna stop by after the
Yeah, I mean, I could just drop by. Where's he at?
They don't know where he lives. They
Ooh, he's an enigma.
they send
Where do you message things?
so they send a message to. He's a part of the Order of Magists and Protectors. So they send a message to basically the local office here in the North Ward, and that message gets to him.
Okay.
It says that moment where Zach's just like, this fucking shit.
I mean, I'll just stop by head office. It'll be fine.
Okay,
Probably.
sounds good.
I appreciate y'all.
I just kind of shrugged. Sure, let us know, right? And at the moment, they are busy trying to sort and move all of these freaking iron ingots.
Yeah, it takes me like 15 minutes to get them all out of the bag because I do it one by one.
Individually.
There's only 120. Jesus, you're taking your sweet time.
Takes me 6 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
I gotta stop for a minute. My arm's getting tired.
Oh, they're only a pound each.
It's not the poundage; it's the movement.
Oh, it's the
over
movement?
and over again. Over and over and over again. And you can't. You have to think about iron ingots the whole time. What happens if I start thinking about grappling hooks? Now I've got a grappling hook.
Shit, you got to put that back. You're not giving that to Embrick and Abby.
That's the way holding works, right?
Yeah, that's the way the bag of holding works. You could just dump it all out and then put everything else back into the bag.
A lot of bones in here.
Oh, okay.
People with ADD can't have bags of holding.
No, right?
A shitload of bones, and also 1,000 platinum would come out.
I need a character that has severe ADD, but has like really awesome things in the bag of holding, and he has a roll on like a D20 on what he actually pulls out.
Okay. So what else is happening? I know Matashtai is heading to the bazaar to try to find a weapon.
Yeah.
Is anything else happening?
I mean,
we gotta stop by that mages and protector area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also,
on an adventure.
like as soon as we leave, I'm just gonna be like, we just gotta stop by the guild. I don't know what the hell these people. They just send a note to a place. They have no idea where this man. They're just sending items.
Yeah. Well, he shows up after they contact him.
I need somebody that has a shop.
Yeah,
I need to go somewhere. That's some just like
sketch.
wandering vagrant.
The thing about like open enchanters, right?
Well, maybe
those
put it this
types
way,
of
Bones.
items
He
are
might be so
extremely
good.
valuable.
He might be so good he works in several cities.
Yeah, that's fair. Where else are you gonna spend the holidays, though, right?
The city
Other
of
than-
Splendor.
The city of splendor.
Liddy in the city.
Liddy
All
in the
right.
city.
So, is the whole party going on this trip to the
No.
bazaar? No.
We'll stop back by. Let y'all know where we're going. If you want to come, you know.
oh yeah.
Hey man,
I
we'll
was
see
kinda- I
Mandy.
was kind of locked up here all night, so yeah, I could stretch my legs a bit before we get back down into the dungeon. I'll come with.
All right.
Ashes, we could work on the lab set and make sure things are going smoothly. And you could show me a couple of things.
Ezra's
mean-
like, don't leave me.
No, yeah, no, yeah. If you wanna see,
3 minutes after we step out, an automaton steps in and just looks at Ezra. And then fireball.
What?
We got attacked by an automaton with the necklace of fireballs.
Oh, that's true.
He's throwing it back.
He's throwing it.
Except
He's
for
throwing it
no,
way
it
back.
was an automaton when it fireballed outside of our establishment. It did
That's
not
true.
throw it at me.
Yeah, but you're
Very
the only
true.
one there, so
Oh, yeah.
vis-a-vis.
Why are you trying to relive my nightmares? I don't understand why this is.
So,
It's just kind of what I live for.
Bones and Matashtai head to the bazaar. Ashes and Ezra hang around Troll Skull Manor, working on potions.
Ezra would do one other thing.
What other thing?
He would walk up to Sine and ask if there was any parcels or post that has arrived, and if not, he's expecting something and would like to be alert.
Sine will let you know nothing else has arrived this morning, but if anything else does show up, he will let you know. And then moving to with the potion interactions, do you guys want to do anything with that? Is there some role play we want to do there, or do you guys just want to say that's what you're spending time doing?
I think that Jay, at least as Ashes, wants to get to the point where we're able to start crafting higher up stuff, or at least get Fala in a point where we are able to keep a production of
Sure.
as we get.
Well, you guys already kind of worked that out, right?
But we want to be able to aid and abet.
Sure.
Aid and assist, rather, not aid and abet. God damn it.
Aid and abet. this illicit potion trade going on
that
here.
We're actively paying.
Absolutely. Okay, so what do you guys want to do about that? Do you guys so if you can just say, hey, that's what we're doing, is we want to spend this kind of off day going through the equipment, getting things set up. What are you so let's go over the
I
thing.
assume that at least to start off, Ashes would go into detail about what he knows about creating potions, like between the differences between regulars and graders, and the time it takes to do so, the ingredients used to do that, and
So are we using
learning other potions?
I was gonna say, are we using this as like a learning session for Ezrah? Is that what we want to do? Or
I think that's the ultimate goal. But
okay, so this is that's what I'm looking for.
In my mind, we would also like survey our setup to make sure.
So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for after this is done, what are you guys trying to achieve, right? So we're at point A, you guys want to get to point B, but what's that point B? Is basically what I'm trying to get at. So point B is Ezrah gets a little more knowledgeable about herbalism / alchemy or whatever, right? Tick that off. Awesome. What else is at point B?
Efficiency of our lab. We want those meth pots to be cooking at full capacity.
Well, I think you guys. So if we go back over, what do we currently have set up? Jay, you have the numbers for that, right? Yeah, math me real quick. You guys have a pretty intricate setup already, right?
But there's always room for improvement, Jeremy.
So currently I have an alchemy station that is custom to sit over a larger fire, and in each quadrant can hold a single potion. So it can brew 4 potions at once.
Yep.
The materials to do so, or at least I could buy the materials and at half the cost of a normal potion, I can create one with the station, and the time it takes is related on how complex the potion is. So it takes a single day to make a regular health potion. It takes a 10-day for a greater, a 30-day for a superior, and a supreme takes 40 Galdern days.
Yep.
Really? It only takes 4 10 days?
Yeah, that's like a month and a week.
Quick.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But to make one of those 20d4 plus 20,
it's also like
takes $10,000 to make.
Yeah, it's also that. Yeah, it only takes 4 weeks, but it takes 10,000 gold to make.
It's 10,000 gold. Yep.
I thought it was a consumable, so it costs like a lot less.
That is the half price. That's the
a lot less. Oh.
Yeah, it's
that's real unfortunate for you.
It's real big. But okay, so that's kind of what we have set up, and right now those are all brewing greater healing potions already, right?
Now all 4 are consumed.
And when are they set to be done?
I can't just. I mean, it's just reiteration, but I can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna have a supreme cooking and hope that it's done before the end of the campaign. No, it has to be checked on every day.
Yeah,
and, like,
it has to be tended, which is what you guys have already.
We're already.
Yeah, that's what you guys have already arranged with Fala. So. So, currently, you guys can spend time tending it and kind of going over the ideas and concepts, but unless you have an idea of how to create some sort of efficiency, right, then I think you guys might be stuck right now as far as like adding that to your point B, right? You have to come up with an idea of, okay, now I'm not asking you guys to be chemists or anything like that, but you got to come up with an idea and then be like, okay, here's our idea, and then we probably roll for it and see how it works out, right? But sans an idea, you guys just take your time, talk about it. Ezra, you learn a little bit more so you can kind of tick up the progress on your counter, and I think...
We still haven't talked about that.
Yeah, you and I can touch base after that. I think we already established that you only have, like, if you're actively practicing, you only have, like, a couple weeks left or something like that, so...
Yeah, I have
I'll touch
regular
base with you on
potions of healing, understanding, and then the rest of it's
We'll
stuff I still need to learn.
We'll touch base this week on what progress for that looks like and kind of like how you can check that off, but this would count towards that, so... you can make a note of that or just keep that in mind and we'll go from there. So, moving on from that, Bones, Matashtai, you guys head over to the bazaar. There are a lot of people traveling in Waterdeep today, right? There's a lot of people moving from small gathering to small gathering as people kind of like go giving presents to this friend or this family, etc. Right? So there's a lot of people out, there's a lot of hustle and bustle, but as you get to the bazaar, it's basically it looks like a lot of like day before Christmas shopping. Like a bunch of men running around looking for gifts for people, like
Racist.
morning of and there's plenty of shopkeeps all around. So the Great Bazaar doesn't have like it doesn't have buildings in the Great Bazaar, but it has permanent stands all throughout the Great Bazaar, and then it has more modest like temporary stalls and things like that that can be set up and broken down, etc. Right? So you guys can wander around the Great Bazaar for a little while. It does not take you very long to find a weapons stall that is gonna have a katana. Now, here's the caveat, though, right? You'll probably find 3 or 4 of these things throughout the bazaar, right? But they are exotic, right? So each one that you find is like, this is the only... It's going to have some, like, crazy... This is the teeth of the dragon, or this is the dragons... Every single one has some cheesy name that the shop owner is going to launch into as soon as you start looking at it, right? And they're going to be up on a pedestal in like a little glass thing, and they're going to make a huge to-do about how this is the greatest sword, and it, you know, slew 13 dragons of the what have you mountains, right? You need no insight roll to check that these are all basically used car salesmen. But the blades that you see, right, Matashtai, they are katanas. You can identify them as working blades from, not
Shake
from...
them, they don't rattle.
Yeah, they're not from your realm. They are all combat ready. They're all gonna count as a katana, but none of them is made to unless it's very carefully hidden from you, right? None of them is the fantastical blade that is being sold at you, and they're trying to sell you this thing for an exorbitant amount compared to a normal weapon, right? You might buy what's a longsword? I think a longsword is like 5 gold or 10 gold or something like that, right? I can't remember. Let me check.
How much they charging?
Yeah, like a longsword is 15 gold, right? The cheapest katana that you're gonna find here is gonna be 45 gold.
Wow.
Because they're driving up the price because it is an exotic weapon, and they're driving up the price because they're basically trying to sell you what they're considering like a last chief sell, right? So they're trying to like, oh, you got to get it now before someone else comes and takes it, right? Type scenario. So they're trying to price gouge the shit out of you.
This is the katana of snake oil.
Right?
Fuck it. I paid the 45 gold.
The thing, welcome to being an adventurer. It's like, I have the 45 gold. Moral wise, I don't want to do this. But that's an inconvenience. How do you go about it though? Like, are you very like, ugh, about the whole thing, or do you just, oh, okay, great?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Matt is wise, but he's not smart.
Sure.
So he realizes that this person is selling something, like, he's going over the top.
Yeah.
He doesn't recognize how much a katana is actually worth.
That's fair. And actually, where you're from, katanas are very valuable. Actually, they're probably not worth this price hike, but many of that's kind of a status symbol
fair,
where you're from.
He has never bought a weapon since he's been here.
Ooh, true. Okay.
Same. I just make my own.
Like,
all right.
He's been using the weapons he arrived on this planet with.
Absolutely. Okay, so you do spend the 45 gold. The guy who sells it to you.
What are the three? What are the three katanas? Which one's the coolest name?
One is the guy. The guy doesn't seem to be able to stick with a name, right? He calls it the teeth of the dragon, or it's the dragon's fang, right? It's always the serpent's claw, right? It's always something thematic.
Any water type ones, like the fucking the crashing wave, or
yeah, it's
Don't
called
do it, Jeremy.
It's called the welcome.
The
how
ocean.
about rising tide?
The
That'd be pretty
ocean
cool.
spray.
Yeah, the
Ocean spray.
Oh yeah, baby, it'll spray on your face.
Fuck.
The ocean spray.
Like, okay, so my first instinct is that's like a candle scent, but you're just like, yup, get it all over my face.
Just all over my face.
Yep.
No, I was checking one of my pages to see if I had a bunch of like weapon names or anything like that, but I do not have a. Woe is me as a DM. I do not have a random list that I can pull up that has weapon names on it. So we'll say you find the guy who tries to sell you the dragon's whatever, right? You find the second guy. It's just called the Tear of the North, right? And he doesn't put a lot of aplomb or circumstance into it, right? It's just what it's named, right? And the last one is probably a little bit more used car salesman like the first one was, but he doesn't have trouble remembering which name he gives it. But it's very edgy. Very, very edgy.
Night Slicer.
No, it's not Night Slicer. It's
the bringer of death and doom to all thou enemies.
No, it's not Night Slicer. It's Night's Edge.
Oh, jeez.
It's very edgy.
I buy the Tear of the North.
Okay.
It's not as good as Night Slicer. I'll be honest with
Night
you.
Slicer was way better. Okay, so you buy the Tear of the North.
Carve through the darkness with Night Slicer.
That's how he says it too.
Today.
So he's just like, slice. Anyways, okay, so you find yourself the owner of a katana. It's not a magical katana.
Dark?
It's
Not
not a
anymore.
masterwork katana.
Shing.
But it is a katana. It is a sturdy weapon of war. You are proficient with it, and thanks to your new monk abilities, it does count as magical, so that should be pretty useful. So, so now you can throw Tanbakiri and still actually have a weapon. Yes.
So last time we talked, you said that a katana works the same as a longsword, right?
Yeah, as far as my understanding works, is a katana is just an exotic longsword.
Okay.
Same exact functionality, everything involved. It's a longsword.
Okay.
That's dumb. What's the point of that?
Well, I mean, I can go find homebrew exotic rules.
It's a 1d8. It's versatile, and you can use your bonus action to gain +1 to AC by parrying.
So that's just a better longsword.
Yeah, but it's exotic, so not everybody has.
Yeah,
the
but it
training.
doesn't require any. Okay, fine.
Martial weapons don't imply training with exotic weapons.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay,
we can
Mitch,
play
it's a 1d7 now. It's a 1d7.
Does
not a 1d8.
does your monk weapon
I'm just gonna keep the longsword.
does your monk weapon give you proficiency with the weapon that you select? It gives you auto proficiency with the weapon?
Yes.
Okay.
I will click
Alright.
the thingamajigger.
No, you don't have to. It's good. Ooh. Oh, well, nope, can't do it. It's an exotic weapon. It's not a simple or a martial weapon. Can't do a katana.
Sorry, Mitch, you're fucked.
See,
Fuck you, I'm using the
and this is why I
You want a
don't deal with
one-sided
that
longsword?
exotic
I'll make you a one-sided
bullshit.
longsword.
This is why I'm just
Keep the
like, it's a
fucking
longsword.
katana, Jeremy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, cool.
Be-
Keep it. Doesn't count as a monk weapon.
Because it's just a longsword. It's just a longsword. And you and I are good with that. Zach can go fuck himself.
Yeah, Zach can just fucking. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
I didn't know we were being hurtful.
I
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
say it, so.
It's fighting for your right to party, and you're just gonna be like this to me.
Oh, right. Hey, I want potato soup. Anyways, you now have a katana.
Oh yeah, Daddy, potato me.
It's about midday. What do you guys want to do for the rest of the day?
Go buy mage protectors and mages.
Oh, right. Okay, so you're
Yeah, we're
going.
gonna do that.
You're gonna go buy one of the outposts of the Order of the what's it
one
called?
of? I thought they were just had like a main office or something.
No, not the Order of Magus and
Oh.
Protectors. So the Order of Magus and Protectors are they assist in the defense of the city of Waterdeep.
I misunderstood this.
And they
Okay, that's
also
fine. I'm
they
still
also
doing
get
it.
involved in, like, if you guys remember from Dragon Heist, Barnabas, right? He was a member of the Order of Magus and Protectors. So during crimes, like the Watch or the Guard will call on members of the Order if they need magical assistance, you know, to like
Sure.
investigate a crime or things like that. So the Watchful Order has little outposts, little offices, word I was looking for, all throughout the city. Basically, they have at least one in every ward, so that they have a nearby place to contact people.
Okay.
Okay.
We go buy it.
So you go buy it, and
Hey, buddy, we're looking for a Thimbledorf Puent. Thimbledorf Puent.
Yep. What? So they're
Hashtag just read Gauntlgrim.
No, I listened to it actually.
oh, there we
I didn't
go.
even fucking read it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with listening to something instead of
I
reading
do it
it.
while I drive. It's
Audiobooks are perfectly acceptable and good things for busy people. Don't be shaming audiobooks.
This is not a hill I'm willing to die on.
Good to know.
Okay, hey, yeah, what's up, man? We're looking for fucking Edidin Guamil.
Is that
Uh,
his name? I don't know what his name is.
So there's kind of a clerk at the front desk, right?
What's up?
And it is it's an older dwarf woman. And she kind of like squints at you over this pair of spectacles. And she says, "Who?"
Freaking edited Guamio. Taden Guamio. I don't know his name anymore.
Kind of like squints at you, and she lifts up a piece of parchment and a quill and an ink pot.
Does she want me to write it down?
Just write it down!
I think she wants me to write it down. I'll write it down.
Okay, so speeding through this process, because it's gonna be annoying, because this lady is abrasive and not overly helpful. So she kind of gets to give you that, I don't know, maybe the kind of like the DMV vibe, right? She makes you go sit down and wait, and it's like 5 minutes, and then you're like, no one else is in here. It's like, you know, what's going on? She helps you, like, she calls you back and forth, has you like sign things, asks you what your business is, right?
Sign what? I'm not signing things.
She has you like sign in. Like, there's this whole like sign in sheet that she has you like sign into. So and there's like
Joe Mama
20 or 25 minutes in, right? She disappears for like 15 minutes, right? And you're not sure what's going on, and then she comes back with like a half-eaten sandwich because she's on her lunch break, and she refuses to do anything for you while she's on her lunch break. And eventually, right?
I just leave. No, it's fine. Whatever.
No, you really? I was right there. I was to the
Okay.
payoff.
Well, if she gets to it as I was gonna walk out, then
Okay,
it's fine.
Eventually, she is able to let you know that Ayatodin is busy at the moment. He is actually out on patrol, but he should be back within the hour. You can wait for him, or you can leave a message and she can deliver it to him.
This is How long have I been here now?
40 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome.
Matt has fallen
Welcome.
asleep on.
Welcome to government services.
Alright, yo, I'm gonna leave him a message that says, "Hey, I'm Bones. Those people who I actually know their name, both those names,
Imbric and Abby. Yeah, you got it.
Said you were good at doing enchanting stuff. Come have a drink on me at the Lifted Spirits so we can talk about it.
Okay.
And I'll leave fucking carriage fare."
Sure. Okay. Done and done. And then you guys head back home?
Matt just walks up, claps Bones on the shoulder. Nailed.
God. Gonna kill myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Back home? Alright, is there anything?
No, not back home. Maybe
No.
back home. Hold on.
Alright, where are you going?
Let's go home so we can go back down in the dungeon and kill things.
Back home.
No, this whole episode is just, we're back to roleplay episode numero dos.
I want to fight
It's all
things.
good.
I'm fine with it.
I would like to do things out of the dungeon personally. But...
And
Okay.
now
whatever.
we get an interesting dichotomy.
For bag of
Okay, hey.
some sort of magical entity.
So yeah, fine, whatever. Back home. Hey, how big are a scale of a bronze dragon and scale of a gold dragon?
It depends
big are
on
those?
it depends on the age of the dragon.
Okay, well I got one from the lake monster and I got one from the vault man.
Two very different aged dragons. The lake monster is a young dragon. The vault monster is an adult dragon. So
Okay, so like
Well, so like, also it depends on where it is on the dragon itself. But assuming these are like, body scales, right?
You gave them to me.
A body scale would probably be maybe the size of a small saucer, right? Okay.
Okay.
Whereas like, for a young dragon, right? And an adult dragon would be a little bit larger than that, maybe not much, but a little bit larger than that. Why? What's the kind of like goal here? I might be able to better answer the question if I know what your purpose is.
I want to use them.
For what? Oh, or you're trying to figure out what you can use them for based on their size?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing weapon wise, right? So think of it this way.
I'm not trying to make a blade with them.
Sure. So think of it this way, right? A suit of dragon scale mail, right, would typically take like 50 to 100 scales to make.
That's a lot of scales.
But they're layered. They're not just like fit together. They're layered over each other, right? So
I'll discuss it with you later. I know what I want to use them for, but it's going to take a bit of explaining.
okay, sure, by all means. Sounds good.
Back to the home.
All right, back to the home. Back at the home. Okay,
Yeah, can I get an 8-hour workday in? What time is it?
I mean, potential. If you guys aren't doing anything else, if the intent is to stay home for the 20th, right, and then to go back into the dungeon on the 21st, I suppose.
Hey guys, do we have anything else going
Maybe.
today, or you think I can get a workday in?
Well,
I'm
we
gonna use
are
for some work.
boiling and brewing in the
Yeah.
alchemy lab. So
Okay, so you guys are already workday in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt, you got anything else you got going on?
I'm just gonna go hunt down bandits around town.
Bandits, sure. Okay.
We'll stand guard at some corner. Catch pickpocketers.
Okay, sure. I love it.
as Matt gets arrested for harassing passersby.
I don't know that he gets arrested. He probably gets a stern talking to from the watch about not being a vigilante, right? You know, like, son, we are a law-abiding city here. We got people for that job.
But criminals, they don't follow the law.
They go through a whole thing with you. But you're a first time offender. They're not gonna
I come back properly chastised. but
properly
trying to think of better
chastised.
ways to vigilante in the city.
You gotta get yourself a mask and a cape and everything. You can't just be standing on the street corner. You have to hunt the darkness. You know?
Kuwari man strikes again.
What do you mean hunt the darkness? He is the darkness.
He is not the darkness. He didn't buy Night's Edge.
He's the darkness.
Nope.
I'm the Tear of the North.
He's not edgy enough.
The
King of the North.
He gets a little tattoo, the little
King of the North.
teardrop tattoo right here. You know? He gets the crybaby tattoo.
No, it has to be above my north.
Oh. You cry up.
King of the North.
I don't have an
Anyways.
excuse for this. Come
I
on.
don't-
It's a
I
tear,
have
but it
no
looks
excuses.
like a snowflake.
Absolutely.
Hey, what day is my formal ceremony at the Guild? The Guild.
That's what was that? That was on the
You
3rd
said it
of
was
the
3
month.
days or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the 3rd of the month. They have their formal, like, monthly gatherings.
So it's like a week and a half away.
Yeah, so this is the 20th, so yeah, you got
Oh, I thought it was in like 3 days.
no, you got like 13 days before you could do like a I mean, they're gonna send out like you're in the ledger now, they'll let people know.
Damn, a
you know.
newsletter? I'm gonna get a newsletter?
They have like little bulletins, yeah. There's I don't know, broadsheets basically.
Hell yeah, newsletter. Alright, I'm gonna get a work day in.
Okay, sounds good. You get a work day in. All right.
This
Anybody
is
else?
birthday number 2
Anything?
since the beginning of the campaign.
Hey, you guys are busy, man. You're doing stuff. It's the life of an adventurer. You're constantly doing things. Don't worry. You're making progress, fam. You're making progress. You're figuring out what you got to do to get further in life. So, all right. Assuming that there's nothing else you guys want to do, the night of the 20th passes.
Before the end of the day, because I just remembered I wanted to do it, I'm gonna test using detect magic.
Okay.
With my Husnarketa.
Okay.
So that I've got that now stored in there. Because it is a self-cast.
So you're casting it on yourself in order to detect magic on yourself. Okay.
Well, that's detect magic is a self-cast.
Oh, sure. Oh, okay.
So that
but it gives you the effect of detecting magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense then. Okay. That's why I was like, yeah, I guess technically you could target yourself, but that seems kind of but no, yeah. So it has a range of self. Yeah, so you gain an effect while you are under the effect of the magic. Okay, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm gonna have mage armor and that in my...
Sounds good. All right.
Management, boys.
My homie didn't show up? Dude, I offered him free drinks. This is some bullshit.
No, hold up. So
Oh, you said the night passes.
I didn't say. Did I say the night passes?
Yes.
I'm trying to get us to the night.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
To the night!
So before we go to the night, I did want to ask, Ezra, do you tell anyone about your book experience?
No.
Okay.
You die alone in your room and murders you.
Yeah, Ezra over here keeping that knowledge on lock.
Oh, you mean about the sun? Yeah, I probably would have talking at least with Ashes while we're in lab time. I would have filled voids with conversation talking about, oh hey, this book, Apprentice of Halaster. Oh hey, something about the Seven. Yeah, kind of strange. There's not a whole lot of information about them. That they're it's kind of like they're purposefully omitted. It's just kind of weird.
This is the first I've ever heard of them.
All right, so now you guys have that information disseminated. Just so you know.
I don't talk about what's actually in the book though.
Yeah. It's pretty thick stuff, so probably for the best.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm realizing I just can't hold normal conversations with you guys.
Stick with 2 C's.
Jeez. Okay, so the evening arrives, and assuming you guys are at the Lifted Spirits, so to differentiate, by the way, I typically refer to the bar as the Lifted Spirits and Troll Skull Manor as kind of your rooms, etc., your living quarters. But assuming that you guys are at either, Bones, you do get a summons right from Cine, letting you know that there is an individual at the bar looking for you.
Hell yeah.
It's Jarlaxle.
It is
Dude,
decided.
That's better. I wish you would come.
Right?
Whoa.
No, you
Above the double entendres.
tonight is just all over the
I'll take
place,
that one.
huh?
You know what? I'll accept it. What happens, happens.
So, an individual is waiting for you at the bar. It is a high elven man, a sun elf, right? He's got very bronze skin, very pale hair. He's well dressed, not in kind of like robes, but more in kind of like a business-y suit type thing. He's kind of got this, it's not a business suit, they don't have business suits, but it's like a very nice tunic with kind of this overcoat, and these very straight trousers, almost kind of like they're pressed, right? And he's just waiting for you at the bar. And when you show up, he does introduce himself. This is Eatadin Guamiel. And he kind of like asks, he starts polite conversation. He asks after your health. He introduces himself, shakes your hand, says it's nice to meet you, right? But shortly thereafter, he launches into, he hits business. He's very much so what did you want to discuss?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, have you had a drink yet? Hey, can we get him a drink?
Lift will kind of apparate nearby, right? Because Lift doesn't just float around. Lift does a thing, disappears, reappears, does a thing, disappears, right? So Lift apparates next to you all, and pulls out a glass, kind of waits.
He wants you to tell him what you're gonna have.
Wine, red, something.
I too will have that.
So it kind of describes, in wine terminology, something nice, dry. And Lift goes through the process of pouring out glasses for the two of you.
Insert wine info here.
Insert wine info here, right? I know a little bit about wine. I drink wine, but I'm not gonna kid myself. I don't know enough about wine to start talking about there are hints of pepper and cloves and
who the fuck's drinking pepper wine? What the fuck?
Look, I hear it. I hear it.
I appreciate you not trying to
right?
do something you couldn't do.
Yeah, screw that, right? It's when we talk about wine, when we talk about ship specific things like rigging and sails, I got, but aft and starboard and
insert
boat terminology
right.
here.
Left.
The keel and
Keel's underneath.
I got a couple things, but everything else I'm like, it's a boat, y'all.
Y'all?
It does both.
It does boat. You sail around on it.
Jeremy.
It's a boat, y'all. That was part of the point, y'all. Anyways, I have some things that I have great knowledge on. Wine is not one of them. So, he orders a nice wine, is served, right? And he nurses it, right? He drinks on it. He doesn't seem to he doesn't just, oh, you offered it, I guess I'll have to take it. He actually drinks it, right? And he talks to you about what it is you want to talk about.
Fish.
Okay, so if that is the conversation...
Okay, look. Homie, look, no. Okay. Look.
I was gonna be like, if that's the conversation, about 5 minutes in, he politely excuses himself and he leaves because he's here for business.
No, I was told you're an enchanter and I have need of service and can you help me?
So he asks questions.
Enhance some armaments.
He
maybe
asks,
also projects in the future.
Okay, so you do talk to him about this being not just necessarily a one-time thing. So he basically, if that is the case, he kind of he involves himself a little more. He starts asking questions about who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, right? What you're needing these kind of enchantments for. What's your source of income, etc.
Out of bone, and they're not the most durable things, so
Did you tell him about being an adventurer and recently joining the Guild of Fine Carvers and stuff like that?
Yeah. I carve things finally.
So it's pretty clear shortly into the conversation that he is trying to evaluate whether or not you are a shady person and what you're doing is a positive or negative thing.
Okay.
As a member of the order, the Protective Order of Mages and or the Order of Magus and Protectors, right? He seems legitimately to be taken with his oath to protect the city. So he's not against doing business with you, and he's not against potentially making a partnership with you, right? But he seems to be trying to evaluate who you are as a person first off. And he basically gives you this rundown of look, I don't know you very well.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Hey, man, I'm affiliated with the Emerald Enclave. You know, I'm doing all this work.
Okay, so that piques
really
his interest.
Like bone carving has been my passion throughout life, and I'm really just trying to follow that passion. But my friends need help in the dungeon, so
that piques his interest, and he asks, right, if you have anyone that would vouch for you amongst the Enclave.
I mean, I haven't really talked to him about it, but what's his name? Probably would. What's his name? Melanor.
Yeah, Melanor Fellbranch. Yeah.
Yeah. Melanor. He's my main dude.
Okay, so Eatodin says that he is interested, right? But that his main cause in life is the protection of the city, so he takes his clientele and who he associates with very seriously, right?
I get
he's
you,
very
man.
selective about who he chooses to work for or with. So he does request doing a little bit, a few days to meet up with some of your references, perhaps, right? Ask a few questions, get to know a little bit more about you before he makes the decision.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, as far as like continued business, that's cool. I kind of have an immediate need. See, we're progressing in Undermountain, and I find myself without anything magical to hit things with.
So he basically tells you that is also on the contingent. So he won't enchant something for someone to use if he thinks that person is potentially an evil doer or is up to no good, right? Not because that would basically be empowering someone that would do the opposite of what he wants in the city, right?
Sure. Yeah, I feel that. Do I have anything on me that makes it seem like I'm not a bad person?
And any way to additionally convince him, right? Like a more immediate convincing, right? Like,
yeah, not the skulls.
Sure.
Matt walks in. Hey Bones, I just got done giving all those orphans that money to have a happy holiday.
yeah, and then down the. Nope.
Just like you asked.
Okay, I got you. I've got okay.
Let's see the sales pitch.
Okay, follow me here.
Good man, me.
Follow me here.
Oh boy.
Gold dragons, super lawful. I think.
It says generally, yes.
Okay. I met a gold dragon who was guarding this like massive store of money from that may or may not have been embezzled by Lord Neverember before. We recovered it. We worked it. I helped with that. I was part of that. To my point, right? He said, "Hey Bones, you're a good dude. Here's a sign of friendship." Gave me one of his scales. Here it is. I pull it out of my bag of holding.
Okay. So now I'm sitting here thinking, right? So you're telling this tale, right? And meeting so this is the Forgotten Realms, right? Dragons are a real thing. Dragons are an understood thing, right? A gold dragon being met, but even though they are known and understood, it's not like every person is going to meet 20 dragons in their life, right? You know, so they're still rare, powerful creatures.
Yeah.
So
He
there's
was
definitely going to be some
big, man. Boy, I
weight
tell
behind
you.
your story. Let's say you're not lying.
No, this is all true. This
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. You might be omitting some stuff,
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. This is the truth.
but I don't think you're
I don't-
I don't think you're omitting it in such a manner as that like it
Not
would
trying to
convey
deceive the
yeah, it
man.
would convey deception. I just think that if he knew the full truth and all of the truth, it might not be as heroic a story as it
Okay,
sounds.
look, just because I'm naive doesn't mean I'm not a good person.
Sure, absolutely.
And
100%.
Jarlaxle is tricksy.
Yeah,
So-
just because you guys helped the bad guy get the gold, does not make you bad. Doesn't make
On
you
accident.
bad, right? So, yeah, I think this guy definitely has a chance to be swayed here. So, let's roll a persuasion.
Oh.
You're not super good at it, but you have a chance.
It's fine, whatever. Where's my damn persuasion button?
Oh.
Cool.
Okay, so it's not that this guy is just like, oh, and that would have been it too.
Dude, I definitely feel like I should have had advantage on that roll. Just gonna
Oh. Sorry,
say it. I got
friend.
props, bro. Look, I got props. That's advantage. That sounds like advantage.
I think the
You have
props.
luck, dog.
I don't have luck.
Thought you had
Not
luck.
not on this character.
Not on this character, on every other character, not on this character.
Not every other character. I had it once in 5
Robin!
years.
So, I think the prop just allows you to try and do it. It doesn't give you advantage.
That's fair.
So here's the thing. Eatadin is not. He doesn't necessarily think you're a bad person, but he's careful. He's a cautious individual. So you basically missed the chance to gloss over at least a little bit of it. He's gonna need to check references before he's willing to work with you.
Yeah.
Now-
alright.
Now, like I said, this is only going to take a day or two, right, at most, for him to check those references. And personally, from DM to player, I don't think he's going to have any reason. Like, he's not going to find anything. There's not a secret that you've been hiding that he's going to run into and suddenly not want to work with you, right? But that is going to add a little bit of time to your mix.
Maybe I won't want to work with him at that point. Then,
Maybe, possibly. If you want, right, you could try to seek out seedier methods and see how they turn out for you.
He'll probably find out that I'm seeking out seedy methods, and no one will work with me.
But
We
yeah,
could
so
just kidnap him, put him in the basement, and force him to enchant things for you.
What
it's
if he
not
gives me
kids this
shitty
time. Now it's
enchantments
enchanters. Oh, you guys can open up like oh, that was about to go real south.
That
Never
would
mind.
probably be
I take it
really
back.
profitable.
You can't
All
start
right,
up something like
that's
this,
cool.
dude.
You know, that's fine. I appreciate your diligence.
He lets you know he will get back into contact with you in a day or two. And he apologizes for any inconvenience, but he has the city's best interests at
I
heart.
mean, it's understandable. Appreciate your service. So anyway, tuna, right? They're big. They swim around.
And we launch into the fish conversation, which now having had the business conversation, he does actually stick around. He is an amicable individual. He will drink another glass or two of wine, right? He has some dinner here.
Sure.
He seems like a nice guy, and he seems to enjoy spending time with you and getting to know you, but the entire time he doesn't really seem like he gets drunk. And the entire time he is listening intently and asking questions. He's definitely still getting a bead on you for information.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not blowing him off.
Okay, sounds good.
Zach is sad. Bones is
Zach
understanding.
is sad. Okay. All right. Now, my players, is that the end of the 20th?
Yes.
All right, that is the end of the 20th. The 21st rolls around. It is a bitterly cold morning. The temperature dropped several degrees in the middle of the night, and there is a light snow falling throughout the entire city. Guys, get up. What do you want to do? Is this the day that we head back into yon dungeon?
Yeah, Ashes at this point is getting like stir crazy.
It's just like
We've been out one day. It's been 24 hours.
yeah.
Well, he's worried about Hala.
He's worried about how
Matt went all of 30
we
minutes
did.
before he was trying to become a vigilante, so...
Absolutely. So what were you
Fucking
saying, Jake?
As Ezra goes into the lifted spirits for breakfast.
Okay. When you go into the lifted spirits this morning, Sine is there, and he hands you a letter
Yay.
addressed to you.
Yay.
Within this letter, you find a short message, short missive, sent to you from Mert. Got his little signature, little blob signature down at the bottom. And it says that he has done some investigation, asked around, and he has found an individual that is not only willing to sell, but actually looking to sell. And once again, this was rolled, so I'm not sure you're going to be perfectly happy, but is looking to get rid of what Mert describes as a portable hole. And basically if you have interest in this item, the individual is looking to part with it for quite a sum of money, and they're looking to get rid of it quickly. So this is kind of a urgent matter. But the sum that they are looking for is 8K. So this is like a check yes or no on will you date me, right? And if it's a yes, right, then Mert will arrange the purchasing of the item, and if it's a no, then Mert will decline the item and then go back to looking. But again, it goes into that couple days.
Ezra will immediately decline.
No, you don't want the portable hole for 8K?
I don't want anything for 8K. That is an outrageous price.
Yeah, it's 8,000.
For what I'm looking
I
for.
rolled for it. I rolled for it to see what it was gonna turn to be, and
How much is a portable hole normally? Is that a good price on a portable hole?
No.
it's
Oh.
If necessary, see
So-
my earlier argument.
so a portable. Here's the thing about a portable hole. A portable hole is actually, I believe, it's a class up from.
It
yeah,
is. It is.
So,
it has
it's-
a different.
It's considered to be a rarer item than a bag of holding. That's why you guys can buy bags of holding when you find them for like 800 gold or 500 gold or what have you, right? A portable hole is rarer, so it's more expensive. And the jump
I
from
would at least-
uncommon item to rare item is a pretty steep jump on the range of what it can cost.
I would at least present it to the team, saying, "Hey, I've got this search out to try and help me with this deficiency, and this was presented to me. It doesn't meet the need that I'm looking for, but if you guys are interested,
I mean, it does meet the need you're looking for. It's just not
no,
in
it
the
doesn't
same
meet
specific
the
way.
need I'm looking for, Jeremy.
Yes,
Okay,
it does.
counterpoint.
Absolutely does.
Okay, so counterpoint. Now that we know
It
that
works
there's
differently,
the,
Jeremy.
now that we know there's the big sled,
Same
why don't you
functionality.
just get a mule? Just bring a mule down there.
There you go.
If the mule dies,
Then you're back to killing what you were doing before.
Okay, counterpoint. Bring a mule. We've already got the goblins waiting. It
Bring
writes itself.
Bring 2 mules.
Two mules.
Ezra smiles and politely nods as they're having this conversation,
just
but
like,
his eyes
He
are
ignores.
carries
just
so
glazed.
much stuff
The
on
eyes
two
are just
mules.
glazed over while he's just nodding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ashes will like give you a pat on the back.
Sorry, buddy.
Maybe Haleth won't kill himself and everyone everyone around if he has a mule to care for.
So you send Mert back a missive declining.
If the party has no interest, then
It doesn't-
no.
it doesn't seem like-
Ezra is looking for something a little bit more personal.
I don't know, portable hole.
It is literally a hole in the ground and not nearly as
I understand the difference. I can go
well
through walls
kept
and shit,
as a
right?
bag of holding. I
You
can't
can-
just
How
stick
much
my head
stuff
and-
you could put in a
You can
hole
do
in the
it.
ground.
That it actually here's an interesting thing about the
Can't you
portable
go
hole.
through walls
The
and shit?
portable hole does
That's
not
not how a
have
portable
it does not
hole
have a
works.
weight limitation.
Mhm.
That's not a
It-
portable hole.
The
What am I
portable hole
thinking
just
of?
has a size limitation.
It's a portable pit.
You're
Yeah,
thinking
it's
a
a-
portable window.
Yeah, size limitation, right? Okay, anyway. So
That was decent. That was actually okay.
What's the
Like-
thing where you just like throw it up on a wall and you can pass through it and then
Well, so like in theory, for example,
fucking
It's
this,
chalk zone.
Saturday
this is
fucking
this is an
cartoons.
example of like
the chop zone.
Matthew Colville, right? Talking about this is something that one of his old adventuring groups did, was one person could like turn into a gaseous form and go through a location, like a set of bars or something like that. They would throw the portable hole down, everyone gets in the portable hole, this person picks up the portable hole, goes through gaseously, right? And then on the other side drops the portable hole and everyone gets out. Right, so that kind of methodology that works with a portable hole, but you don't just like throw the portable hole up on the wall and then you go through the wall, right? It's not just a hole; it's a pocket dimension. Like it opens into a blackness.
All right then. Well, I'm uninterested then.
But I mean, there are functionalities where you guys can use clever, like teleporting or things like that to
What if you put
get around
an entire
obstacles.
mule in your portable hole?
The mule
And
would
then-
die
yeah.
because there's no air in the portable hole, or there's air for like 10 minutes in the portable hole.
It's fine. 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and then you have a dead mule.
It's a peace offering to the goblins.
That's-
I mean,
that's
there's
very
like
true.
a lot of use cases for that.
Very, very true. So, anyways. Ooh,
Jeremy's just over here taunting me.
you spent no, not taunting. You were looking for something. It got rolled. It didn't.
Don't you
didn't
already
roll
have
exactly what you
freaking-
were wanting, but that's what it is.
Don't you have Erasmus or whatever the hell his name is looking for the one too?
We will continue to.
Seamus? What is the changeling's name?
Oh, it is. My list. real
Bro
quick.
has like half a Waterdeep looking for a bag of holding.
Anastas.
Erasmus
is-
was pretty close.
Erasmus was pretty close.
Yeah, and he look where's his ass been?
They
and he looking for one too?
they
Sorry,
are
what is,
looking.
where's their ass been?
They spend their days as a entertainer in the Lifted Spirits, but they do try to keep an ear out for items that you guys are looking for. Is that what you guys had them looking for last time after they found the staff of
no
healing?
idea. I thought that's what Ezra tasked him with, but I sure
I don't know
know.
if we gave them a task after that.
I thought I had Mert doing his thing and someone else had an
We
Astus
had
doing
them looking for
something
the
else.
healing.
Yeah.
staff.
Well, so,
Yeah.
but they've done the healing staff now. Do you guys want them to be actively? Because here's the thing: they're always passively like listening for gossip for you, right? But do you want them actively trying to find an item? Do you want to add?
To be fair, Ezra would have trusted in Mert's ability to find what he needed, and that might have deflated a little bit with this.
He'll
development.
find it. It just takes time.
I'm
It's not
I'm just
instant,
saying-
right?
I'm just
Mert
saying
is
for-
not
for-
spending 16
Hey,
hours of
hey.
his day going, I gotta find Ezra a bag of
in
holding.
Florida of
He
water-
went, oh,
Waterdeep.
Ezra needs something. Ezra needs a spatial option, a magical spatial option to fix his carry weight problems. I'll put out the word. Oh, 2 days later, this is the first word I got back. Hey, Ezra, here's something that might solve your problems. Do you want it? It's not a like, oh, I got one of those in the closet. He probably does have
I
one
was
of those
going
in
to
the
say he
closet.
probably has like 10 of them.
But he's not willing. He's not willing to give
I-
his to you. So he's
I'm
asking
fucking
around.
you.
Mother. motherfucker. All right.
Hey, I'm
anyways.
not Zach and harp on you for half an hour about something.
No, it's-
What did I harp on him about half an hour about?
I don't know. Nothing
No, he's
tonight.
been harping on him for weeks.
Weeks,
Fuck.
weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't know.
Today. What did I harp on for half an hour today about?
So it only matters today. I only matter today, Zach. Is that what we're saying?
Uh-huh.
I only matter.
Yeah.
Would you guys? Okay, so the morning of the 21st is
You find
waning.
Bones' murdered corpse.
So you guys break your fast, right? Ezra, you get this missive. I'm assuming you send back a reply declining and asking that Mert continue looking if at all possible, right? Which he is more than willing to do.
Something a little bit more.
So do you actually give him like that instruction, like something a little bit more bag-like or sack-like?
I like the imagery of Ezra getting fed up now, and he's just like, "Bitch, I want a bag of holding."
Well, it's not even that. Like a haversack, a bag of holes.
They're
something
literally
in that mechanic.
There are literally 3 types of items of this, and
He found
to
the
determine
best one.
to determine which one got found first, I rolled, and it was a portable hole. So but if you do send information back to him, kind of trying to describe more specifically, hey, this is what I understand, kind of what this does. I'm looking more along the lines of something like this, right? Then he will not send you any more portable holes, and he'll send you other things.
Well, and legitimately, if the party had interest in something like this, that's one
Absolutely.
thing, and that could change.
I don't want to spend 8K on it.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
You guys don't want to have a supernova? I guess you guys already have a supernova in your back pocket because you have 2 bags of holding, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it
I guess
was
you guys
2K,
already have your back.
If it was 2K, I would have been like, yeah, sure, that works. But I cannot.
8K was
rationalize
I think a high-end roll.
That should have been for a rare.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, that would be kind of in the middle for a rare.
Remember time. Yeah, it's kind of more in the middle because it's the roll for rares is 2d10 times 1,000. So it's anywhere from 2,000 to 20,000 gold for a rare. So 8K is actually on the lower than average side. So it's just rares. Like I said earlier, right? The price hike from uncommon to rare is beefy. Which is why you guys are basically snapping up all of the uncommons that you guys find, right? You're buying all of the 600, 500, 200s, all of those. Those are all uncommon items. But it's that kind of like, it's that teasing tier. Eventually, you guys are going to hit that point to where you're like, we've got 50K laying in the bag. We could spend it on one really big item, or we could get like 3 or 4 smaller items. That type of thing.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyways,
Anyway, I draft 2 letters.
2 letters.
One to Melanor.
Okay.
Hey, Melanor, it's Bones. I know we haven't talked in a while. Things are going okay in the dungeon. Hey, hope it's okay. Used you as a reference. Trying to do some business.
Gotcha.
People will probably be asking.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Fold that up. Second letter. Dear Guild of Fine Carvers, this is Bones. I'm looking to form some partnerships. I need enchanting services as well as either subordinate carvers or someone to form a business equal partnership with. I would be very happy if you could provide recommendations. Love you, always, Bones.
Nope.
Fold it up.
Always.
Always. For the next 10 cat years that he has.
That's right.
Wow, you only live for 10 more years,
Oh.
Bones?
I have no idea.
He's got plenty of time left.
Give them both to Cine and say, hey, Cine, can you message these to Melanor Fellbranch and then also the Guild of Fine Carvers administration? I don't know where it's supposed to go. If you could figure that out, that'd be awesome.
He will see it done.
Here's I don't fucking what's appropriate here. 2 gold,
For sending a missive? No, he waves it off.
gold
Fine.
and a half, 5 gold.
Sure.
Hold
Two-
on.
He'll take a gold from you and
15
I
flat.
don't know how
Easily-
much you have. Yeah.
easily be able to pay a
Rich
runner to
person
take a
syndrome,
message.
I don't know how much things cost.
Right.
Okay,
Right. Oh man. Okay,
okay.
yeah, he'll take care of it. Sounds good. All right,
That's all I have.
fellas. Is everybody ready to
I'm ready.
leave this world?
Ezra and Ashes are gonna go start potion making again for another day, hoping for another missive.
Yeah,
Hell
is
yeah,
that how it's
let's
gonna
do
work?
it, dude.
Ugh. Well, I think you guys
Meanwhile,
can kiss
Matt
your...
is on the ceiling.
Yeah, Matt
waiting.
is gonna go crazy, and I'm pretty sure Halithgark's just gonna kill the entirety of the marketplace.
There is no reason why he
Like
would-
at this point, Matt's doing like one-fingered push-ups out in the street just to like.
You come back and you find Halithgard, but he's really tall.
He's really tall.
What?
Is
I
he
don't know.
wearing a tiara?
He's wearing the crown.
Okay.
He's
Oh.
elongated.
Okay. Sorry, I was not making that.
I
leap.
followed.
So,
Oh
you guys...
shit! Hey, on the way, let's stop by the furniture store. Hey man, do you have any stools?
you're stopping by
I
the bent nail.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I was supposed to get Yek a
Oh,
stool.
yeah, we're supposed to get him a stool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who is
Vic,
If you
You
have
just steal one
something-
from the
Brock's
shop.
If you have a stool that's just like unreasonably tall, that would be the best thing.
he has like a bar stool.
Oh wow.
Right?
Bar stools are gonna be like 4 foot tall.
Yeah, I think. Okay, is it a sitting stool that he wanted, or was it a standing
This
stool?
being Talis Solvenar.
thought Yek wanted a
Interestingly,
standing
which
stool.
which may or may not pique your interest, Talis Solvenar Fellbranch.
Oh, hey, cool. Any relation to old Melanor down there?
No.
Cool. All right, glad I asked.
Sorry. But now Tally is like, oh, thanks for asking, but no.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, maybe I'll take the bar stool. Do you have
Actually, I
another
think they
stool as well?
are.
Maybe
I
like a
actually
stepping
think they are
stool?
related.
Stepping stool and a bar stool.
He has a myriad of wooden furniture available, as well as a selection of bows and crossbows. So
Yeah, I need a bow as well, actually.
legit.
Damn it, Jeremy!
Threw the last one away
That's-
a couple of times.
That's true. You absolutely did.
True.
Okay, so you can buy what's do you want a short bow or a long bow?
I can only use a short bow.
Well, you can use a longbow.
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
gonna
yeah.
sacrifice my proficiency. I'd rather just kill myself.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Coward.
short bow is 25 gold. Add in a decent sized stool and a bar stool. We'll say 26 gold.
A short bow is 25 gold?
Short bow is 25 gold.
Jesus Christ, did he craft it from the last oak? Like, what happened?
Weapons and armor are like one of the only things that actually have crazy prices. I don't get it, right?
Name that bow the last oak.
Why? He's just gonna like break it halfway through the
Fucking-
freaking next
throw it
level.
away.
Made
And
from the
throw it
wood
away.
of Geppetto's magical grove.
Fucking
Potentially.
Christ.
Yeah, is expensive, but yeah, it's 25 gold.
If you lie, it gets more powerful.
Well, I had purchased it, and then a stool and a bar
It's
stool.
harder to draw.
Sure,
and
shove
just
those in the bag.
Yeah, I'm putting them in my holding bag.
Gotcha.
Bar,
right.
stool.
Sounds good. Well, Tally at the Bent Nail
Cool.
appreciates your business and appreciates you
man.
acquire. I think actually they are. Well, I say that. I have it. As far as I'm aware, there is nothing in the books that says they are related, but they're both They're both half elves. I think. Is Melanor a half elf or is he a full
Wow,
elf?
you're saying like all half elves are
Well, they're
related?
both. Well, here's the
Wow.
thing. I think they're both
little
half
racist.
elves. They both have the last name Fellbranch, and they both show up in the same
Jake, how's that make
module.
you feel?
It's one of those things where it's like, if they were in separate modules, I'd be like, oh, it's completely unrelated. But since they show up in the same module, I feel like the writers are like, maybe someone will make the connection. You know?
All right, I give him 2 platinum and 6 gold. I think
Or I
that's
could have
what he
just
asked
missed reading
for.
it. It's entirely possible that they say it in the books. Say what?
I give him the money.
Give him the money. All right,
I give
he
him
takes the money.
platinum and gold in case it's more inconvenient to have platinum.
It's not.
Wow. Wow, that's
He
so
charged me 25
passive-aggressive.
gold for a short bow.
That's the price. That's the
I don't
listed price.
All right, hold on.
It just seems
Jeez.
excessive. I don't doubt him. I'm just saying it seems excessive.
Holy crap!
Hold on.
So angry.
He crossbred this fucking ash tree and this oak tree together to form the most
Yeah,
fucking pliable fucking wood.
it's super
So it
good.
just snaps back. He's like, "Look, dog, I'm an elf. I know about trees. Okay?
Only half. He's
Shut
only
up."
half an elf.
Yeah.
He only knows about half the trees.
Light
Wow, you
crossbows are also 25 gold.
They
He's
are.
only half a piece of shit then.
Oh, shots
Just like I
fired.
Bro,
Shots
It's not his fault.
fired.
It's literally in the fucking book.
The book.
It's
I
in
know,
here.
but I've already started being indignant about it, and I have to follow it through.
I understand.
So that's just how it
I feel
is.
you. All right. So, purchase
I'm
is
ready
made.
to go to the dungeon now.
You head onwards. The streets are far less busy, right? The day after last sheaf, people are no longer moving about intentionally trying to meet up with different folk, going to different celebrations, especially not with this light snow coming down, this flurry coming down. Most people, if at all possible, are staying indoors, and you're getting that kind of first taste, right, of the slowdown of Waterdeepian life as it heads into the winter months, right? As the snow drifts begin to pile up in the city, you're going to see people much less frequently out on the open streets. It's still a massive city. There's still crazy amounts of people here, so you're still going to see people, but not the flurry of activity that you're used to going around. So, you guys head down to the Yawning Portal, and down into the portal itself. Everyone pay your 1 gold to Durnan.
I give
So
the man
paid.
my money
One
with
Google.
that glimmer in my eye.
So anyway, Ezra, I just really think you should just hire like
5 mules.
I don't 1 half orc or 2 dwarves, and just not worry about this situation anymore. They can hang out with my goblin friends. Be great.
Oh, you should just get a mastiff and put saddlebags on it.
I don't think a master can carry very much.
You can carry more than Ezra.
I don't think a mastiff would really care that much either.
Like I said, can carry more than Ezra.
What is the strength rating for a mastiff?
I think it's 8.
We can find out very quickly because there is a stat block for a mastiff.
I wanna say it's
Yes.
like 12 or something.
Strength is
Which is
13 for a mastiff.
What?
Actually.
Wow. That dog is stronger than me.
Yep.
Bro,
Yeah,
it's
go
stronger
fuck
than
yourself.
me.
Ezra over there. Go fuck
All fun and
yourself.
games until you realize, oh hey, the dog's stronger than all y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah,
but I have
that's
a
why
bag
we're
of
trying to
holding,
talk you into
so-
getting a dog.
I have a bag of holding. I'm good to go.
Yep, you can
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.
Fun. All right.
Look, Ezra, you can even write it. Look at it.
I would like to actually before
That's
we
a
go down,
dragon.
can I purchase a book?
Okay, you could click the link, but I'm gonna get you the picture because I think it's
Sure.
funny.
What
It's called Traveling with Minimalism, and I'd like to give it to Ezra.
Oh man.
Ezra, you've read this one before. It's not that good.
No, it's actually.
You checked this out at the library earlier. It's kind of a droll read, honestly.
Well, probably should have paid more attention.
I mean, legitimately, do you want me to go through the shit I have on my person?
No.
I do. I would like you to go through all of it.
No, I want to get into the dungeon.
No, we're going into the dungeon. What are you thinking?
Thank you. So, you guys pay your fee to Durnan. You head down the shaft. Really, I threw that one out there, and you're not gonna bite on that one?
Yeah, that one's not very funny.
Yep, sorry, Jeremy.
Yeah. Jesus, Jeremy. Keep it
Jeez.
together.
I thought I had caught on to the way things worked, but clearly I was wrong. So you guys head down into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, back to level 1. And you find yourself in this now familiar large open room, the dust covering the floor, the shields painted and graffitied across the walls, right? And you begin to head down the darkened tunnel, though I'm assuming Matashtai lets out the drift globes so it starts to illuminate all around you, right?
Yep. My drift globe on a harness.
Sounds good. You walk to the crook of the bend, and then you hear voices in the distance coming up the hall.
Hey,
What kind of voices?
They're speaking in common to each other, kind of jovially jeering back and forth. Nondescript, you can't really make out what they're saying yet.
can we tell gender by
What's their
high
their
pitch, low voice?
tone?
Like, is one voice high pitch and the other
Jovial.
low?
Not
Oh, I missed
particularly.
that.
They're distant from you. You can just tell that it's common, and there's a couple of them. There's a
More
couple of
than-
different voices.
How
A
many?
couple
What
dozen,
what bend are we at? What do you, is this like the
Three,
bend after the very
4.
first hall?
Yeah, it's basically you're coming into the hallway that has the demons
statues?
carving.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alright.
okay.
All right, let's try a new tactic. 3 of us will hide, and Ezra, why don't you approach them and just like see how they react to like a lone adventurer in the dungeon, and we can really gauge.
Ezra summons his mage hand about 3 feet away from Matt's face and puts the middle finger up.
Let's start the. Okay, here's a good tactic
Very
that I
nice.
think we
Oh,
And
can.
you just see
Look
this
it.
purple ooze kind of dripping off and then fizzling.
It's called be fucking normal. Let's just try that.
Just
Let's
be chill. Let's just be chill, guys. Just be chill.
I mean, we did that
Right.
with the.
So
the
as
goblin
you
people stuff.
this
We were
this scenario
chill
happening,
with the
as you
goblins.
guys are kind of like at the start of this tunnel, right?
flipping each other off.
Um,
You know.
Yeah, flipping
Being
each other
rowdy.
off, like
Fuck you.
coming up from the forest of pillars, right? The little section right at the end of this long hall. You guys see a small group of individuals. You see a very large gray-skinned man. See a dwarf. You see a. Oh no!
Are we
Sorry,
level
not a
1 or
dwarf.
Very
You
large.
you see a human. Sorry, not a dwarf. And then you see 2 very odd figures. A goblin riding on the back of a centaur.
All right,
This has been
Jeremy.
stolen.
Fucking copyright.
And they seem to be, the 4 of them seem to be kind of like chatting back and forth amongst themselves,
Look at
right?
legitimate other party.
As
Yeah.
a legitimate other party is walking out of the dungeon as you guys are entering it, and they suddenly see you there at the end, right? And you guys see them, and there's this brief standoff moment, right? as you guys stare at your secondary characters.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, here we go. And then the goblin like cranks out a Gatling gun on the back of the centaur and starts to spray into all of you.
That's
and
canon
you
now.
just
I'll get a Gatling
you're all
gun.
fucking
You
dead.
can't say stuff like that, Jeremy.
No, you have to give us a Gatling
You
gun.
can't
Oh.
say stuff like that.
It'll
Now
happen
you have-
eventually.
It is
It'll
on-
happen
It's
eventually.
on camera. It's recorded.
So there's this kind of like brief moment of tension, and then the other four kind of like they kind of jovially call out to you, and they keep walking, right? Like they're not afraid, they're not worried about you, so they keep walking towards you. They kind of jovial call out to you, and the human one, just apologies if I'm inputting words. But the human one looks at all of you and he says, fair warning, floor's kind of been a bloodbath. Apparently someone's been going around killing everything. There's a bunch of undead in the north side now, and to the south, so many goblins got killed that there are just carrion beasts everywhere. Watch yourselves.
Wait, was it near the marketplace?
You mean this
Marketplace?
floor?
Oh,
This floor.
oh, okay.
This
Sorry,
this
sorry.
floor.
Never mind.
Oh yeah, hey man.
Since there's a
You're looking out.
marketplace? What's
No,
this
don't
about
worry
a
about it.
marketplace?
Don't worry about it.
Not
Don't worry about the
really.
marketplace.
Anyway, yeah, good
Like-
looking out, dude. I offer him my
well-
fist bump.
Come on, man!
Level 2. You gotta get to level 2.
There's like this little like exchange of glances, and they're looking at you like, oh, these are lower level snobs because we've been to level 2. We're special, right? You know, but they don't say that in as many words, but they look at each other and they look back at you like, oh, aren't we hoity-toity, right? You know.
And then I'll look at the centaur. I'll be like, hey, if you go down there, hunch down. Just don't be so tall. You'll get it when you'll understand when you get there.
What,
So
what does the centaur say, Jeremy?
I think
what
the
does he
centaur in this scenario just kind of like looks at you with these furrowed brows and kind of like grunts at you,
Yeah, man, that's fair.
but doesn't say
Please,
anything specific.
Jeremy, please tell me that the visage of the centaur is chest plate, helmet with a plumage on the back of it, giant shield in one hand, and a big ass lance in the other.
Yeah.
No, he
It
looks
is,
he
but
looks more like your
It is,
paint
but you
drawing.
notice it's all paper mache.
It's all paper. Yeah, it's absolutely paper mache, and you can see through the visor because otherwise he wouldn't have facial context. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, my dude.
So, that being said, right, you guys do encounter this other adventuring party. They are, clearly, they are still on the first level of the dungeon. But this is an interesting experience for you guys. One, because, for anyone watching, these are the backup characters for each of the players, right? Though they may not always remain these particular characters. But at the same time, though, I do want to impress that there are other people exploring this place. So, might need to watch out for that sooner rather than later. Although you guys might have already picked up on that with the whole fellows, or the fine fellows of Daggerford situation.
Did you guys kill any of those carrion beasts, or they just lurking?
Yeah,
They fought
looking
with
into.
several. Yeah. But there's so many corpses that they imagine there will probably be carrion feeders for weeks unless someone does
Alright,
something about it.
Of the 4 of you, who's the coolest one?
Yeah, who's the coolest?
So at this point they're kind of like passing you guys because they're not just like standing there
Who's
talking.
the coolest
right?
though?
The centaur raises his hand.
Yes.
the goblin immediately like smacks his hand down and is like, shut the fuck up, no one asked you, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
You know?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Anyways, so
the creatures that they
Mhm.
I have no fucking idea what a carrion feature is.
Does that ring any bells for Ezra? Some sort of
not history
orc
check.
leader?
Sure, history check.
I'd like to counter your history check with a nature check to know what the fuck that is.
You can roll a nature check if you want. Might have heard descriptions of it.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. So neither of you has exact specifics, right? Because you haven't seen these creatures. But Ezra, you've read at least something about them, and Bones, you have heard about them, right? Never having to face one, but probably something that your tribe would have to deal with in the past. Not necessarily like on the plains or anything like that, but if your tribe had like crypts or catacombs or anything like that, that would be something that they'd have to
caves.
worry about, right? You know?
Black Panther style.
Yeah. So, there are plenty of carrion beasts, but the ones that they seem to be described being are the carrion crawlers, and you guys have actually seen these, not alive, but that's what was on the
tables.
the table from the Ettins. The Ettins seem to have been
the worm thing.
yeah, they're like big slugs or termites basically, but they feed on the dead.
Gross.
Yeah, they're carrion.
You can just literally walk away from those.
Yeah. So, anyways, this secondary party takes off. You do see, if you follow them at all, there is there's a special hoist that is sent down to pull the centaur up.
It costs 5. Ezra, you can get a mule down here.
It costs 5. You totally can get a mule down here. We have discussed the mechanics of it.
Ezra does not acknowledge that.
So
how much can a mule carry? Is it like 5 times the weight of a bag of holding?
no, I don't think so.
Easily.
No, I don't think so. I think
capacity.
I think you'll be
That's like-
surprised.
A heavy load is 461 to 690 pounds? Bro, that's 2 bags of holding.
Not 2. A bag of holding is 500.
pounds.
Yeah,
It's like
almost
a
2.
mule is a bag of holding.
You know,
Except if it dies, it does not maintain its status of holding.
don't let it
bags.
die. I don't know what to tell
Yeah,
you.
protect your mule. As far as back as you hang out, it'll be safe.
Mhm.
Anyways,
And then we find a sheer cliff.
so
Mules
that's what
actually
the
have advantage to not lose their
rope
footing,
of climbing
so-
is for now, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. You just tie
Rope
the
of climbing. Collect
mule
our
to the.
mule.
We can change the conversation at any time.
So I think the conversation at this point is basically
Okay, we're
so
done.
this is where we leave off at the end of the night. You guys are back in the dungeon. You have met this kind of other party of adventurers. You're heading back towards the second level, hopefully to meet up with Halaster. We'll see if that's what actually happens next week on Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Shit, I might get a mule.
All right, have fun.
What am
We'll
I-
see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
I hadn't really thought about how like good of an idea it was gonna be until now, if I'm honest with you.